going live on TikTok as well. And
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shake it, but keep pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eye. The Bible guy, he reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy, he turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy, watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
coming at you live from Northeast Texas, it's the Bible Guys Show. Everyone, make sure you're tapping that screen, sharing the live out with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Let's get the word out there so we can have some interesting conversations about why it is that I, the Bible Guy, do not believe in the Bible. And I've already got a guest. Look at that. Fantastic. It's our friend Ashland. All right. Now, I'm going to see about making it to where if you're on YouTube that you'll be able to see my guests. So we're going to see how to fix that real quick. Nope, wrong button. There we go. Just got to crop that. Holy crap. Boop. And boop. And boop. And there we go. Now you guys can see Ashland's box. And whenever I get a guest, you'll be able to see their box in the future. So there you go. Whoop, whoop. Here we go. Hey, everyone. Make sure you're tapping that screen like Jonathan wanted to tap King David and sharing the live out. Duncan Ashland 666, absolutely. I already have a super chat. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and read that. Why not? At Helping MAGA Deconstruct, again, I love this name. Will the harpy be cooking Christmas all night? Maybe not all night, but with the $2, thank you. But we're gonna go for at least 3 hours. But if we get a lot of guests, we'll go past 3 hours as long as we've got like an influx of guests coming in. Ryle says, "You're back." I am back. Absolutely. Unlike Jesus, I have returned. Just to make sure everyone in the comment section, are you able to see? Yes, you are able to see Ashland's box. That's fantastic. Let's see. DK07. What is that? What is that a link to? And is that a link to the YouTube channel? To the YouTube stream? And the TikTok side? Whoa. This is a family show. Hey, Serpent. I don't know where you been, my bud. But this is 100% not a family show. We get raunchy here on the Bible Guys Show. Ashland, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just making sure.
Setting up.
Krista says, "Why should we explain to you why you should believe in the Bible? Because if you don't, Krista, I'm not going to believe in your holy book. Don't you want me to be saved? Don't you want me to believe in the good news? Or is it just that you're asking because you don't have any good reason for me to believe in the Bible?" Look at her with the devil horns, everybody. That's my satanic co-host right there.
So satanic.
Krista says, "Oh, this is an argument waiting to happen. I see." Krista, I don't think you do have an argument, or else you would have already come up. So no, it's not an argument waiting to happen if the other individual doesn't have an argument. Your second screen up and running now. Yes, Haroon, on YouTube. For YouTube, we are already streaming on YouTube. We've been streaming on YouTube for a couple weeks now. Think Doug and his prophet. Do you go live on a schedule? Funny that you asked that, because I just told Ashland that this is our set schedule, everyone. Here's our set schedule. I will be going live every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. On Sundays, we go live starting from 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we will be going live at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that is, as for now, that is the official Bible Guy live stream and schedule. So, if you're a Christian and you think that you might have a good reason for me to believe in your holy book this Christmas season, come on up. Let's have that discussion. Until we get opposition, if you are a friendly and you have questions for me, feel free to ask your questions. Come on up and let's have a conversation. I would love to get to know my wonderful, amazing audience. At my my consciousness 616 with the $2, I turn 41 tomorrow. I like my Christians. Well done, winky face. Well, happy early birthday to you, my conscious 616. I hope your 41st is better than your 40th. And at Brian Evans 180 with the $4.99. What are some mythology beliefs and pagan practices in Christianity? So, when it comes to pagan, the word pagan is kind of flexible. Pagan is used to refer to anything that's not Christian and Jewish. Yet the irony is that there are things within Christendom and within Judaism which ultimately derive from pagan beliefs or pagan practices. An example of a pagan belief that got introduced into the Judeo-Christian religion would be the flood narrative. Like Noah's flood, that's originally from Babylon. And the Jewish people just adopted that practice. The Babylonians practiced the New Year on the 7th month, the first day of the 7th month of Tishri, and originally Jews celebrated it in biblical times on the first day of the first month, the month of Aviv, or now it's called Nisan. But now they celebrate their New Year's on Rosh Hashanah, which is, again, the 7th month, the first day. It's the same as the Babylonians because they got that from the Babylonians. In fact, the entire Jewish calendar, with all of its various names, like Tishri and Aviv, for example, those are two holy months that I just referenced to you. Those come from the Babylonian calendar. They have also the month of Tammuz. Like, these are all from Babylon. There's no such thing as a pure religion, guys. Doesn't matter what religion you're talking about. There's no religion out there which is absolutely 100% pure. Every religion is like drawing upon previous traditions to build their own tradition in one way or another. And Christianity and Judaism are not exempt from this fact. Ooh. All right. So, hey, if you're a friendly out there or an opposition, come on up and let's have a conversation. Iteration of one another. Yes, that's correct, Elizabeth. They are all iterations of one another. Let's see. Now, Christians, if you need Krista says, if you need confirmation from men, you're looking in the wrong place. It's weird. It's such an outdated way from humans. Well, Krista, where the fuck else am I supposed to learn about what it is that y'all believe? The only source for any information on Christianity is going to be humans, because the Bible is a human invention. And so even if I go to the Bible, that's just me seeking information from men. I mean, come on. Think a little bit. Angela's slips. I hope all the money and likes that you get fulfill what needs you are aiming for, because you live for this world. Fun fact, Angela, unless you're an extraterrestrial and you come from another planet, we all live in this world, and we all need to put food in our mouths and a warm roof over our heads. Yeah, what a silly thing to say. Now, at Helping Maga Deconstruct again with the $5, Ashland, Did you see NASA announced they found glucose, ribose, and what they call space gum on the asteroid Bennu, main parts for RNA floating on a rock? I saw that.
Yeah, yeah. I think there have been several people, but I think Snitch has even talked about that. Um, but yeah, I've seen it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I need to go read some of the papers on that. I know that happened like a month or so ago.
Yeah, it might just be that ribose nucleic acid. Is it called ribose nucleic acid? RNA is more prevalent in the universe than we may have originally thought.
Yeah, it's just without the D.
Oh, RNA. Yeah, not RD. Yeah. Someone said in the comments, "Do you know that science is a man-made creation?" Yeah. Like who else would have invented it? It wouldn't have been the cheetahs or the tigers or the elephants. Of course it's a human-made invention. So what? Something being of a human origin isn't a negative. I know like for Christians that seems to be a negative because they think that there's an alternate source that's better, but yet they've never been able to demonstrate that there's anything other than like human inventions going around like this. That's what a prophet and a prophecy is. There is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning. See that little child, you think you know, but you're not close. First off, I'm not a child, and I'm definitely not little. I think a lot of Christians would disagree with that statement. So we're gonna bring up our first guest for tonight, Mesa. Mesa, before I'm gonna have to edit some stuff right here real quick just to make sure that everyone can see you on YouTube. This is gonna be a first time having to do this, and hopefully the last time I have to do this. So Mesa, I'm gonna ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
I am.
Question number question number Jesus Christ. Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
It's not univocal and it's not inerrant, but I think there's some truths in it.
All right. And then question number 3: how much of the Bible have you actually read?
I've read all of it a long time ago, but I've been rereading from Genesis to 2 Kings intently over the last couple of years.
All right. And I didn't understand. But you believe the Bible? Okay, never mind. Yeah. And then question number 4: what are your pronouns?
Regular.
That's subject.
A guy.
I was going to say regular is
He-
that doesn't mean anything.
Coffee order.
Normal.
They're all normal.
They're all normal.
Okay, well, I'm a I. I guess I'm a you.
But what are
I'm
your
a
third
he.
person pronouns? There you go. He.
Yeah, he,
There
yeah.
we go.
I'm also a we.
Well, I don't know anyone who uses we. I mean, I guess if you're like really pretentious, maybe you use we. So
Yeah.
Mesa, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Mesa, why should I?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to be like quite a bad guest and I'm going to go quite soon. I don't think you need to believe it in a kind of evangelical, inerrant, univocal, literalist sense. And indeed, there's lots of contradictions. There's lots of weird shit in there. There's lots of difficult passages that are hard to understand without context. But I still think, there's still something worth thinking about in there, and probably shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Is Jesus the Messiah?
Not in an Old Testament biblical sense. Like there's no,
then in no sense, because Messiah doesn't have a meaning outside of like Jewish culture.
Exactly. I think the authors of the Synoptics tried to retroject some kind of authenticity of the message into the prophetic works of the Hebrew scriptures.
So Jesus wasn't the Messiah. He wasn't the Son of God. He was just a normal guy.
I think he was the Son of God, but that's a faith claim. You can't retroject that into the scriptures.
So why should I think Jesus was the Son of God?
I don't think you should. like I said, I don't think you like. I don't think you should believe in the Bible or believe in these claims if they're not conducive to you.
You heard it here first,
If you did,
folks.
hold on, just let me finish.
The
Sorry.
Bible.
If you did believe them solely because you thought that's what the whole book was trying to get to, then that's a bit of a tricky position
You know,
to
I'll give it
defend.
to you. The other parts of the book are about putting women down and stoning them and stuff like that. So you're right.
So
It's not all
you're
about
just
that.
saying we should cherry pick the parts that are good and ignore everything else.
No. I think we need to put everything into its context, both in genre, in historical composition,
Does
and
that
intent of the author.
does that make the misogyny and slavery and stuff like that better?
No. I mean, the slavery is abhorrent. It's disgusting. It's awful. Fuck that.
And Yahweh, did he command it or no?
Oh, you mean the Deuteronomistic laws?
Not just Deuteronomy,
Okay, where else?
Exodus. Exodus
Well,
21 has
yeah.
laws about slaves, and so does Leviticus.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, the whole of Exodus is based on the Israelites being Adonai's slave.
But also
Anyone else.
you can beat your slaves so long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
terrible.
it's awful, which is why we shouldn't believe in the Bible. Like if all you're saying
okay,
is the Bible should be treated like a book of ethics, well, there are better places to get ethics.
Well, it's not a book of ethics, is it? Because the ethics are awful, by and large.
Then in what sense should I
What?
believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
But this is the thing. I don't think you should believe in the Bible, which is why I may be an awful guest. But that doesn't mean that if you
Yeah, that would make
So confused.
that would make you an awful guest. Like I don't care about any of this.
Y'all heard it from the Christians. Don't believe in the Bible.
Gee whiz. Yeah, then why come up? I mean, I don't know if reading's hard or anything, but the sign above my head or to the side of my head if you're on YouTube, why should I believe in the Bible? If you're the kind of person who thinks I shouldn't, then don't call up. Unless you're like a friendly who wants to ask me questions about the Bible. But if you're like a believer and you don't think I should believe in the Bible, then don't call up. Like, what the hell? At Brian Evans with the $4.99. I like learning about different mythologies and religions that predate or is mentioned in Christianity. I agree. I do too. In fact, almost every night before I go to bed, I will listen to like 1 or 2 different books to put me to sleep. Witness for Christ, I don't have very well. I have a book on world mythologies that's narrated to me. And then I have another one specifically about Norse mythology, which is narrated by Neil Gaiman. Both really good books.
Hey Dalton, I'm on top of your super chats on the YouTube stream.
You are? Mm-hmm. Oh, you are. You are, aren't you? Here, let's fix that real quick.
Yeah.
I'll put you right up here in the top corner. There we go. Boom. No one on TikTok can see what I'm talking about, but on YouTube, I just moved Ashlyn around. Hey, wait, guys, look on YouTube. Y'all see now? Look at that. She's the devil on my shoulder. Well, that's at least what a lot of my family thinks.
Oh yeah, your mom thinks I led you away from Christ.
Yeah, it's funny. Anyways, Dalton is hilarious once again. The simple things of the world to confound. Whatever that means. Despise wisdom and correction, but love donuts. Wow, typical Christian, right there, guys. Look at that. Typical Christian says, "I despise wisdom and correction, but love donuts." In other words, fat joke. Yeah, that's pretty typical for TikTok Christianity. I'm sure Jesus is quite disappointed in you.
Is he though? I mean, he called a woman a dog, and you're not an Israelite, so.
Rough.
Did you just bark?
Maybe a little bit. Anyways, keep tapping that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate. Glitter says, "I am fully prepared to request up by mistake." Hey, if you're a friendly and you want to just come up and chat for a little bit and ask questions, until we get an actual opposition, someone who actually believes that I should believe in the Bible, feel free to do so. Let's see. We got here. What does this say? Way to Life Ministries. I'm sure they have good takes. Manuscripts and historical evidence, archaeological proofs. Way to Life Ministries. Guess what? The archaeology actually disproves the Bible. But if you think otherwise, request up. Stop. All the Christians in here, stop being a bunch of fucking keyboard warriors. Have a little bit of courage and come up and have a conversation with the Bible guys about why I should or shouldn't believe in the Bible. We got Just Say L. Is that Just Say L? Is that how it's pronounced?
No, it's Hasael, but everybody butchers my name, brother. It's all right.
Hasael?
Yeah, you could just call me G, though, if it's easy to remember.
I know, that's fine. I can call you Hasael. Hasael, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes, sir.
And then question number 3, how much of the Bible have you actually read?
I would say like maybe 60%, maybe 70%. I actually have like whatever I read, I highlighted. So like I could visibly see it's like maybe 35% missing, like Proverbs and like Psalms and stuff.
All right. And then question number 4, what are your pronouns?
I don't have any pronouns.
You don't have pronouns. You'd be the first person in history.
Biologically in history, we were either like male or female. So
I thought you believed in the Bible.
Yeah.
God has pronouns, right?
Pronouns
All
are...
right, you're as in like he and him?
Yeah.
Like, alrighty? Like...
Those are pronouns.
But like...
So
alrighty?
People don't call you he and him? That would be accurate or inaccurate?
It'll be accurate.
And do you accept those pronouns?
I would accept them, I guess, but like I wouldn't necessarily label them as a word as far as like I'm just whatever I was born as, you know what I mean?
Well, no one's born with pronouns.
That's exactly my point. Thank you. What was your next question, brother?
Well, no, that's my point. So do you go by he, him? Is that what you're saying your pronouns are?
Alrighty. I was biologically born a male.
I didn't ask about your sex.
You said when we were born.
Do you go by he, him? I'm only asking about your pronouns. I'm not asking about your sex. I'm not asking about your gender. I'm only asking what pronouns do you go by. So that
If this is about what's in between your legs, then I was your dad last night. Now let's move on and actually answer the question.
All right, it's a very simple question.
Yeah, just
I refer to myself as a he and a him.
All right, there we go. That is
congratulations. You've graduated the 5th grade.
2.5 minutes of my life I'll never get back. So, Hazael, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Hazael, why should I?
Scientists recently found out in 2019 that the Phoenician stones in Puerto Rico spiritually confirmed the lost tribes of Israel.
Are you
which
reading
rewrites
something?
history.
Are you reading something?
No.
Sounds like you're reading something.
Like, that's part of my testimony.
I don't care about testimony. I care about facts. Now,
Well, that's a fact that you could Google. Hey, Google it right now.
Phoenician stones. What about Phoenician stones? Prove that your God is real, or that the Bible is true.
They spiritually confirm that the lost tribes of Israel are real.
How do you? I don't contend that the lost tribes of Israel are real. Like the Samaritans
But
exist.
the university in Haifa said it, and the University of Puerto Rico announced it, and it literally writes history.
Hazael, I don't deny the existence of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. They existed. The Samaritans, which are also like descendants of the northern house of Israel, exist. But I don't believe the myths about them.
Oh, I can understand that. Somebody mentioned the Philosopher's Stone. There's a company called CERN that just recently turned lead into gold. which is the Philosopher's Stone, which spiritually confirms
No,
the dragon.
okay, stop saying spiritually confirm. You don't know what that means. Also, they were able to turn a few particles of lead into gold, and it quickly turned back into lead because it wasn't stable. That's not the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone is a stone which can turn things permanently into gold and give people eternal life. That's not what happened at CERN.
Where do they get their dark matter from? Dark matter is
Dark
ether,
matter's
quintessence.
no. Okay,
Quintessence.
here, let's not.
It's
Okay,
quintessence.
I don't know what the fuck you're on about, but we're not here to talk
You
about
could
science.
type in scream
Hey,
and quintessence.
Hazael.
That spiritually confirms
Hazael.
Satan's.
Hazael, focus. We're not here to talk about the pseudoscience that you read on the internet. We're here to talk about why should I
The
believe that
pseudoscience that you're aware of, though, that you
We're not here to talk about the pseudoscience that you read on the internet. We're here to talk about whether or not I should believe that the content of the Bible is true. The Philosopher's Stone is not in the Bible. CERN is not in the Bible. We're here to talk about the Bible. Now, I'll need you to focus up and give me a reason to believe that the Bible is true.
So that Philosopher's Stone is connected to the dragon.
There's no full. Okay, show me in the Bible where the Philosopher's Stone is mentioned. Book, chapter, verse. If you can find it in the Bible, then we'll talk about the Philosopher's Stone. I feel like I'm at a fucking Harry Potter fan club right now. So
It seems like you don't have any words.
Bible,
hey, you mute me one
Bible,
more time. I'm going to publicly.
I don't care. So, book, chapter, verse. Where is the Philosopher's Stone mentioned in the Bible?
I never said it was.
Then
And now
don't
you're being
fucking bring. Then
condescending.
don't fucking bring it
fucking
up.
circle
We're
talk,
here to talk
bro.
about why I should
You-
believe. No one can
Hey,
hear.
that wish.
No one can hear you while I'm talking. We're here to talk about why I, the Bible guy, should believe in the Bible. Do you not have a reason for me to believe in the Bible?
I mean, 380 million Christians and
I don't give a shit. Why should I believe that the Bible is true?
because the Bible mentioned that it was going to happen 2,000 years ago,
That what was going to happen?
and it's happening. This genocide that you don't care about, and it actually mentions that you're not going to care about the genocide.
What genocide?
Did you know that?
What genocide?
380 million Christians are enduring a genocide right now. Go on my profile. There's videos.
Any Christians who are being wrongly killed for being a Christian, I'm against that. I believe in the freedom of religion, and people shouldn't be being killed if they're Christian. Now, that's not happening in America. That's not happening.
You just said you don't care, you fucking liar. You're a fucking liar.
Ooh, look at
You
that.
just said you don't-
He's getting spicy.
You said you don't care.
I don't care
He's
about
got
things
the
that aren't.
Holy
I don't.
Spirit of anger
Yeah.
within him.
What I don't care about is anything that isn't going
Oh,
to
you said
help
you
me
don't care-
believe in the Bible. I care about whether or not people are. I care about in my personal life if people are being.
Bro, you fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. It's on the screen.
Look at this
bro.
guy.
It's
He's
live.
manifesting his
It's been
stupidity
documented.
for everyone to read.
Nah, bro. You just said you didn't care about.
I don't care about.
Crash out for Christ.
Crash out for Christ.
Hey, you're a bitch, bro. You're a bitch, bro.
All right. Listen, you
Aw.
just that was such an embarrassing display on part of a Christian. I'm not even convinced that guy was actually a believer. Holy shit, that was insane. I guess we'll move on to the next guest. Hopefully they'll like actually behave themselves and be a better believer. But before we do that, I'm going to read one super chat. At Helping MAGA Deconstruct with the $2. Imagine being above 18 and crying over pronouns. Imagine that. It's crazy. Listen, the 6th grade was hard. Brando, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Duh.
What was that?
Duh.
You just made a noise. Was that a yes or a no?
Anstrengung.
Brando,
Und da anstrengend.
we don't speak whatever language this is. English.
Scheiße.
German?
Is this German?
That's shit in German.
We don't know what they're saying. Let's 86 this individual because they could be. Thank you, Law. Also, if you're in that YouTube chat, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're on TikTok, make sure you're tapping that screen, reposting, sharing the live, sending your daily heart me, doing all the things. Getting that live stream out there so we can talk to a number of Christians and entertain you.
Yeah. All right. Okay, America First
You can hear me?
17. I'm going to ask you that. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18?
Yes.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3: how much of your Bible have you read?
I'm a layman. I'm not a scholar.
Me neither. How much of your Bible have you read?
Okay. Maybe once
All right.
Bible study.
And then question
I'm
number 4:
Catholic, so
what are your pronouns?
I don't have pronouns. So
Yes, you do. Everyone has pronouns. Even God
what
has
is that?
even God has pronouns in the Bible. You know that? So what are yours? Do you
Uh,
not know what pronouns are?
I don't know what is that.
Pronouns are words to replace nouns in sentences in order to avoid repetition. Words like he, him, she, her, they, them. Which of these do you go by?
I can be nothing.
No. Everyone has pronouns.
What do you mean no? I can be nothing. I cannot be nothing.
Are you a human being?
I mean, if you and me, you have to have a pronouns.
Yes. Everyone has pronouns.
I don't know. I don't want to use it. I want to use my gender. My gender is
I didn't ask about your
man.
gender. I asked what your pronouns are.
I don't believe in pronouns.
So you don't
You said the Bible.
so you don't believe in the Bible then.
You said the Bible say we have to believe in the pronouns.
The Bible has pronouns in it.
You,
God
you know
Nah,
what's
I mean
you know what's
nothing. I mean nothing.
amazing, America, is when you say I don't believe in pronouns,
That's
you're
it.
using a fucking pronoun.
Yeah, I is the first person
Okay,
pronoun.
thank you, bro. I don't believe. I don't believe in the pronouns.
Then you know,
That's my
okay, here.
pronouns.
If you say you don't believe in pronouns, I'll take your word at it. But every time you use a pronoun, I'm going to buzz you and then ask you to start the sentence over again without using pronouns. Got it?
Now you say in the Bible say you have to believe in pronouns. I don't believe that. Like give me the verse in the Bible
I
say
is
you
a
have to believe the
pronoun.
pronouns. No,
So
thank you. Now go, man.
anytime you use a
It's
pronoun
debunk.
anytime you use a pronoun in a sense, I'm going to buzz you.
I debunk your claim.
Anyways, America First, why should I believe in the Bible?
Because from moral point of view, if you
Wha-
don't have the Bible, you got no morals.
You is a pronoun. You don't use pronouns. You don't believe in pronouns, so don't use the word you. So why should I believe
Yeah.
the Bible is true?
You didn't listen. Or you said,
The
you read
word
Bible
you
for
again
morals.
is a pronoun. You don't believe in pronouns, so don't use pronouns. So again,
Can you respond to my question?
why is a pronoun as well?
I got you.
I is a pronoun as well. It seems like you're a liar. America First, you do
What do you
use
mean?
pronouns. So what are your pronouns?
I don't believe my pronouns. That's my pronouns.
You're a liar. So you can either tell
Why
me
you
that
wanna?
you can
Why
either
you
tell
wanna force
you
me?
can
Why
either
you?
you can either tell me the truth and tell me what your pronouns are, or I can move on to someone who's smart enough to have this conversation.
Bro, why you wanna force me to have pronouns? I don't
I'm not
understand.
forcing you. You do have pronouns, you idiot.
You forcing me, bro. You forcing me. I just said what?
All right. If you don't want to tell me what your pronouns are, then that means you're not you're either too stupid to have this conversation, or you're not honest enough to have this conversation. So I'll give you one last chance to tell me what your pronouns are, or else you will not get to have an opportunity to talk to me. So, America First, what are your pronouns? And he ran. What a bitch. I know, words are hard. Grammar sucks. We're going to bring up Way Up to Life Ministries, but first I'm going to read one more super chat. At Bryce Aroni with the $2. This guy doesn't know what the word pronoun means. 6th grade was hard, Bryce Aroni. 6th grade was hard. All right. Way to Life Ministries. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions. You got to answer all the 4 of these questions. in order to have a conversation with me. So question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
33. Go on.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Indeed.
Question number 3, how much of your Bible have you actually read?
All of it, but I don't remember all of it.
All right. And question number 4, what are your pronouns?
He, him, and correct.
See, look at that. America first. He, him. He got that on the first try.
But I like to be called correct.
Well, that's not a pronoun, so no.
It's my problem. Go on.
Anyways, Way of Life Ministries, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I do not believe in the Bible. Tell me, why should I believe in the Bible?
Because it's historicity.
You think it's
And the
historically accurate?
manuscripts. What do you mean by it's historically accurate? So I think that we have enough history to prove that all the people in the Bible existed.
Really? What's the evidence?
Especially the-
What's the evidence that
especially the-
Abraham existed?
Oh, well, I was going to say, especially the New Testament more so. But we would obviously use the New Testament to back the Old Testament. But to back the New Testament, we would have what we have as history now.
Sure. Do you think that the nativity stories of Jesus, as found in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, are historically accurate?
What do you mean? Was Jesus born?
Not was he born. I agree that Jesus of Nazareth existed and he was born, but
So why
things
don't you believe in the Bible then?
because the things about his birth are problematic and they contradict history. So,
So what evidence do you use for his birth?
I agree that he was born. The question is,
Hey,
thank you for the glasses.
Why do you?
Because everyone who exists was born at one point. So,
No,
but
why
the
do you
question,
believe
but the
Jesus
question
existed?
is
What evidence you go to is what I'm saying.
that Jesus of Nazareth existed.
That he was born. What evidence do you go to?
Yeah, all human beings are born. So premise number
No.
one.
How do you know that he
premise number
existed?
here. I'll give you a simple syllogism
I think they're
to
running.
understand why I believe that Jesus was born. Premise
Okay,
number
yeah.
1: all humans are born. Premise 2: Jesus was human. Conclusion: Jesus was born.
So Jesus was a real person.
Yes.
How do you know that?
Oh yeah, well, I believe he's a real person because Paul mentions knowing.
Do you believe in the Bible?
No, I don't believe in the Bible.
So
You would
you
know
just-
that if you would actually let me talk on my own show.
Okay.
So I asked you, do you think that the nativity stories of Jesus are true?
No, you asked me why I should believe in the Bible.
Yes,
to begin with.
and I'm about to ask
And
you
I
about a
used
very
history.
specific point. Yeah, you made the claim of history. I'm about to show
And
you
you said about
how
the-
the
you
history
said
of
that-
the Bible is actually inaccurate. So,
So
are
I-
you willing to
forget
have
the
that?
Bi-
No. So, you asked me about. You said that the reason the Bible is true is because it's historically reliable. We're about to talk about history, and I'm about to show you how the Bible isn't historically reliable. Now, answer the question. Do you believe in the nativity stories of Jesus as found in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke?
Well, I said I believe that Jesus was born.
Okay, but
and
do you
he's-
believe the
he's a
things
real
said
man who
about
was
his
born.
birth in Matthew and Luke?
Well, of course.
Okay, now, do you believe that Jesus of Nazareth was born under the reign of King Herod the Great?
I've seen this argument recently. I haven't really studied it too well, but I think if we're dealing with dates, then dates by men can be inaccurate.
All
But
we have,
biblic-
all we have are dates by men, nothing else.
Yeah, but what you do is you are comparing biblical dates with
Biblical
a
dates are
historian's
also
dates
with
with a historian's date. So
Yeah,
the Bible could be right,
I'm comparing what the Bible says to actual history.
with the historian. So what I'm saying is, if the historian is wrong about his dates, that makes the Bible right. So it can't really be an argument to say that the Bible's true or not
Oh,
true.
this tells me you don't know about the New Testament accuracies then regarding Jesus's birth, because it wouldn't matter what a historian says.
Yeah, it's quite impossible. Okay, so here, maybe I'll go about this in a different direction. Way to Life Ministries. Hopefully, you'll be honest when you answer these questions. The Gospel of Luke makes a claim that that there was a census that took place under Quirinius, right?
But hang on, aren't I trying to see why you should believe in the Bible?
Yes, and I'm
I know
asking you.
why I
I'm
believe-
asking you questions,
Yeah,
and,
but you're
and
trying
the
to
questions
make
are
me
going to
question
lead
why
you
I
to
believe in the
understand
Bible.
why it is I don't believe in the Bible. Do you understand?
Oh yeah, but let me try and persuade you to believe the Bible first.
Okay, the Bible's historically inaccurate.
Okay. So what manuscripts or what evidence do you use to prove that Jesus
Josephus.
Christ was a real person?
That
Josephus.
Jesus was a real person, Josephus and also Paul.
Paul from the Bible.
Yeah. Like
So
I take
so you believe in
I
the
don't.
Bible?
Okay. Way of your life. Are you going to be dishonest this whole time? Or do you want to have
Is that dishonest?
do
You just said you believe in Paul.
Because when I say I don't believe in the Bible, it means that, for example, I don't think Jesus was the Messiah. I don't think he was the Son of God. He may have been a real person, but I don't believe the things that are said about him in the Bible. When Paul writes things about what he personally believes, I take Paul's word that this is what he personally believes. It doesn't mean that I believe what Paul believes is true. Do you understand the difference?
So am I correct in saying that you believe that Jesus existed? You believe that Paul was right when he said Jesus existed, but when it comes to the miracles of Jesus, you denied those things. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think Jesus performed any miracles. I don't think he was the Messiah or the Son of God. Do you have any reason for me to believe that?
Well, I don't see why many people would be lying, and you would have hundreds, if not thousands, of people.
It's not just people
are.
it's based off it's not that they're lying. You know that there's more options than just them telling the truth and them lying, right?
So history outside of the Bible teaches about people being
Oh
crucified.
my God, Way to Ministries. Can you let him actually fucking respond to you?
Yeah.
This isn't a conversation. This is you just steamrolling the conversation.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you steamroll the conversation. You're going to respond to what I'm actually saying and stop being a nitwit. This is not making Christianity look good, what you're doing. It makes you look really bad to my audience. Now, I believe that Jesus of Nazareth was a historical person based on the available data, and I've already told you, which is not just the Bible, not just if all we had was the Bible, then I wouldn't believe Jesus was a real person.
Okay, so we got to the point where you said that you don't believe in the miracles, and what I was trying
I'll make this very easy for you. The Gospels make the claim that Jesus was the Christ. Why should I believe that claim?
Because if you're going to trust the gospel saying that Jesus Christ...
I don't trust the Gospels.
Okay, fine. Let me finish my point. So then why not believe all the other historians that were speaking about all these people that were being put to death because they believed in the miracles and the resurrection?
People believing a thing doesn't tell me whether or not the thing is true.
Well, yeah. I believe that there's enough evidence out there, and anyone.
Okay, then give that evidence. What's the evidence that Jesus of Nazareth was in fact the Messiah?
25,000 manuscripts, historical evidence.
Does the number of manuscripts
crucified?
Here, you're going to stop gish galloping. Does the number of manuscripts tell us whether or not something's true? The number of times it gets copied make it more true.
Yeah, but you just cherry pick Paul. You believe him when he says.
No. You need to focus up. You're being a huge embarrassment for Christianity right now. You can't. You're not tracking the conversation, or maybe it's just that you just don't want to track the conversation. If you're being dishonest, it makes it look like you have a win when you don't. But my audience isn't that stupid. My audience can see right through the tactics that you're trying to employ. Now I need you to focus the fuck up. Now, the Gospels make a claim that Jesus was the Christ. Okay. What is the evidence that Jesus was in fact the Christ?
You're gonna interrupt me and keep muting me?
If you don't answer my question?
Unless I answer the way you want me to answer.
I want you to actually answer stop obfuscating and answer the question. It becomes quite obvious to my guests and to my audience that the reason that Way to Life Ministries doesn't want to answer the question, the reason is because he doesn't have any evidence that Jesus was the Christ outside of the claims of the Gospels. That's the problem. Now, if he had actual evidence, he would just fucking answer the question. So Way to Life Ministries... What is the evidence that Jesus of Nazareth... Okay, what's my position on Paul?
No, my position, I'm saying. That's my position. I believe he's telling the truth the whole way, not half the truth like you
why should I believe that? Okay, is the only option that Paul is telling the truth or he's lying? Are those the only options?
Yeah, pretty much.
No. There's a third option. There's a third option. That he's mistaken.
And all of them are mistaken then?
Yes.
Okay, explain why you believe that.
Yeah, what's more likely? A person coming back from the dead or an individual having a hallucination or visionary experience in their head?
Hallucinating.
All right. So when Paul makes the claim that Jesus, quote, appeared to people, what's the more likely reason for that appearing? Was it that a dead person actually came back to life, or that people are having either hallucinations or visionary experiences in their head? Which was Occam's razor?
Yeah,
Which one does Occam's razor lead us to believe?
Yeah, so I believe that Jesus flipped the world upside down. He did things more.
Nice, but why?
Can I finish?
Why
Yeah,
do
so,
you think that?
well, I believe he did all those miracles. That's how he gained a following
Why?
to start with.
Why do you
This
think
is why
that?
people wrote about.
Why
he
do
was
you
so
believe
important.
that?
I'm about. Why are you interrupting me?
Because you're just making claims. I don't care about the
No, but you're
claims.
not
I
letting
care
me
about the
finish.
evidence for the
You're
claims.
not. You don't care about evidence because I'm trying to give it to
No,
you.
you're not. You're just making claims. Now, you need to stop embarrassing yourself on my live. It's really bad. I need you to tell me not what it is you believe, but why do you believe those things about Jesus? Is it just because they're written in the Gospels?
No, because historians wrote these things.
What historian reports that Jesus of Nazareth performed miracles?
Many, even false prophets like
name
Muhammad
one.
wrote about it.
Name one. Wait,
that's
I don't
not a
think you
historian.
understand how this works. You can't just sit up here and steamroll and make claims. You're going to provide a logical argument
Polycarp.
with evidence.
Polycarp's not a historian either. He's a believer. Polycarp was a member
You
of
can
the
be
church
both.
writing about his theology. No, Polycarp is not a historian.
Okay.
What's his source of information for? Where's Polycarp?
Well, they wrote-
Where does Polycarp get his information?
Josephus. What about Josephus then?
Okay, what do we know about Jesus of Nazareth from Josephus? He makes the claim
Well,
that Jesus was a wonder worker,
Okay.
but was Josephus actually an eyewitness to any of these events, or is he just recounting what people are saying about Jesus?
But you don't believe the eyewitnesses.
There are no eyewitnesses to Jesus.
Okay, there's no eyewitnesses. Oh, well, if that's what you believe, I can't help you.
Well, no,
believe
that's
it.
that's what
You
the
need to
data,
dig
that's what
deeper.
that's what the data would say. Do you have any? What eyewitnesses do we have to the life of Jesus of Nazareth?
All the people who wrote the Gospels.
Who wrote the Gospels? We don't know.
Yeah, we know some of them. We know Luke wrote Luke and Acts.
No, we
It
You know,
wouldn't
John-
even
hang
matter.
on.
We agree that Jesus existed. What evidence do you have that he performed miracles?
Well,
he rose from the dead.
His evidence, he says, is the Gospels, which he thinks written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But the consensus of scholarship would disagree with that position because the Gospels were originally anonymous works. That's why, for example, our oldest manuscript of the Gospel of Matthew doesn't even have a title on it. We don't get attribution of authorship for the Gospels until around 170 to 180 CE under Irenaeus of Lyon.
Name me a more special person to ever exist than Jesus.
Well, special is subjective.
My daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
To Ashlyn, her daughter's more special than Jesus.
I'm on a bit like in a historical
I'm sorry.
sense.
Jesus sucks.
In a well, you've got the hate already, so I could give you the
Here, I need you. Okay, wait a life. You're being a little bitch right now, and also you're being just a poor example of a Christian apologist. I need you to be serious for me. I need you to be serious, and actually give me a good reason to believe in the Bible. It seems like all you've got so far is, well, the Bible.
You believe in the Bible.
The
You believe in
Bible.
Paul.
I don't believe in the Bible, you dipshit. You cannot help but make me believe in things that I don't believe in. I've told you repeatedly, I don't believe in the Bible. And yet you want to come up here and say, no, you do believe in the Bible. Guess what? When I say that I don't believe in the Bible, that's not me making the statement that there aren't any true things in the Bible. It means that the Bible's main claims, like Jesus of Nazareth was the Messiah and the Son of God, and that he rose again from the dead, I don't believe these are true statements. I think most Christians who come up here have more than enough brains to understand what it is that I'm saying when I say I don't believe in the Bible. You seem to be the only one who's too stupid to understand the prompt.
Why would he lie? Answer that.
I already told you. It's not just that they lied or told the truth. You idiot. There's a third option. I've already told you it. What was it?
Why do you accept the third option of?
The third. What is the third option? Tell
That
me.
he hallucinated.
Okay, what's more likely? A dead person coming back from the dead, or someone having either hallucinating or having visionary experiences? Occam's razor, which one is the most likely explanation?
Did I answer that already?
It's hard to tell
I
because
answer
you're
that?
all over the fucking place.
No, I'm not. You keep muting me when I go to answer.
Answer the
Did I
question
not
then.
answer
Answer
that?
the question then. What's more likely?
I said it's more likely that someone hallucinates.
All
but not
right.
in this case.
So
And I'll tell you
why should we believe that the apostles really did see the corpse of Jesus up and walking about instead of that they simply hallucinated or had a visionary experience about Jesus? Give me the reasons why I should think it's resurrection and not psychological experience.
Because of the history. This is what I'm trying to say.
What
You're
history
saying why
demonstrates that they weren't hallucinating or having visionary experiences?
Yeah, because there was multiple witnesses in multiple areas.
Dalton, I think we took too many left turns, and we're back at Albuquerque because we're in the same place we just were like a couple minutes ago.
You think that that the more people have a visionary experience, the more likely it is to be true?
So how do you know he wasn't hallucinating when he was speaking about Jesus Christ existing?
Well, Paul never really talks about Jesus' earthly life all that much, but because it's more likely that people exist than that people just hallucinate them altogether. It's about what's more likely.
But how do you know he wasn't hallucinating the whole thing? How do you know that?
Well, because we have actual because he knows his brother.
How do you know that? Is what I'm saying.
Well, because
You're
Paul.
saying what
Okay,
Luke says,
I don't.
but-
Here's the problem. I don't think you understand. Is that
No, I understand.
here's what you don't understand. When Paul makes a claim, I believe that Paul believed those things. Okay, that Paul says that he saw Jesus. I believe Paul when he makes the claim that he saw Jesus. But the question is not whether or not that Paul saw him, but the question is, what was it that he saw? Did he actually see a resurrected Jesus, or was it in his head?
Okay. How do you know that Jesus existed? You use Paul, right? And then when I
Not
say,
just
well, how do you use
Paul, but
who else do you
Josephus
use?
as well.
Oh, the one who says that he's a miracle maker.
No, the one who says but that's true about much of ancient peoples.
So,
Do you
was he
believe
another person hallucinating?
again?
Was he?
Josephus is just reporting what people were saying about Jesus.
Oh, what people were saying.
Yeah,
So more than just Paul was saying these things.
yeah. Lots of people were
So
said to be.
multiple people were having this.
If you hear from someone that someone else is a miracle worker, do you believe that de facto?
So all these people are having the same hallucination. Is that what you're saying?
No, because again, you can have people who perform miracle. Like for example, are you familiar with Benny Hinn?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think Benny Hinn actually performs miracles?
No.
Okay, but people say that he does.
Sure.
The
But he's
same
easily
thing.
exposed,
The
isn't he?
same thing was true about Jesus of Nazareth.
What was true that he
That
he did
people thought he
miracles.
performed miracles.
Okay, but we're talking about the resurrection now, not just miracles.
Well, we don't have any evidence for a resurrection of the dead. All we have is people claiming that they saw Jesus after he was
the
dead.
fact you said there's no evidence for resurrection shows me you haven't done your
I
research.
have
You
done
haven't
the
done your-
research.
Okay, so there's no evidence. So why
No.
do we believe in a resurrection?
You
2000
could have
years
just
later?
led with that evidence.
The
You could
smartest man
instead
in
of
the world-
instead of just like gish galloping and like flabbergasting around or whatever the fuck it is you're doing, you could just present the evidence if you have it. If there's so much of it, just lead with it.
Yeah. What's the evidence that? What? No, but I'm not
The
going to tell you.
smartest man in the world believes that Jesus Christ exists.
Oh my God! You
That's
believe?
the
You
guy with
believe?
the highest IQ.
No.
Just
no.
lead with the evidence way.
Oh my God!
Lead with the evidence.
No. Listen. This is some
Oh my
bullshit.
God.
This is some bullshit that's been spreading around the internet. That person is not an individual with the highest fucking IQ in the world. And guess what? Even smart people can be duped into believing stupid shit for bad reasons. But again, the individual, the young man that you're talking about, is not actually the person with the most highest IQ in the world. You don't have a metric of being able to actually test that. So,
Why did you just say, oh my God?
because I'm an American. Okay, I'm done with you. Fuck off. Like, that was one of the most dishonest guess I've ever talked to, bar none. Either he was too, I don't think he was too stupid. I think it's actually a mixture. He was both too stupid to have the conversation, but also so dishonest that when he hears an atheist say, "Oh my God," he thinks that that's somehow a point in his direction, as if I'm not a fucking American. And in America, we use the phrase, "Oh my God," as an explicative. If I believed that God existed, I wouldn't say, "Oh my God," because that would be taking the name of God in vain. You stupid son of a bitch. Try harder. That was embarrassing. All right. At Carissa Wieland with sent 10 The Bible Guy memberships. Everyone W Carissa in the comment section. That what an absolute W. At Drew Smith TPA with the $20. What rock do these people live under when they've never heard of pronouns? Here's the thing, Drew. They know exactly what pronouns are. They just because they bought into this red pill conservative agenda, they somehow think that, oh, if I affirm that pronouns exist, then I have to affirm that trans people exist, which they do. It's ultimately born from the fact that they're bigots, and therefore they have to like ignore how English language works in order to like affirm their bigotry. It's wild. And at Bryce Aroni with the $2, Luke was not an eyewitness to anything. Not in the least bit. No, Luke was the Gospel of Luke was not written by the Luke. Now, the guest could have learned that if he'd been honest and was willing to have an actual conversation with us instead of attempting very badly to do got yous. But I don't talk to dishonest people. It's a waste of my time and a waste of my audience's time. To the person in the comment section who said, God only made male and female, Genesis 1:27. God didn't make jack shit. And also it said he made them male and female, referring to Adam and Eve. And again, pronouns has nothing to do with whether or not you're male or female. If you think pronouns have anything to do with being male or female, then I'll ask you, is God the Father male? Does he have gonads and a penis?
Don't ask me. Y'all don't want to know what I think.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's really embarrassing how little they know the Bible and just general science.
You know, Rule 34, Dalton. Rule 34.
Oh God, there is definitely Yahweh Rule 34 stuff out there. And now I gotta go look it up in my own spare time, not right here.
Bet we'll do that after the live.
Way to Life Ministry said, you just run. No, Way to Life Ministry. I don't talk to idiots or people who are being purposefully deceitful or dishonest in a conversation, which is all you did. You completely ignored what I actually had to say. You completely ignored my actual position, and you decided that you would be insufferable for Christ. You lied several times. Like, for example, when you said, well, you believe in the Bible, when you know goddamn well I don't believe in your holy book. What a piece of shit. I'm actually muting you for the whole live. Boop. Anyways, listen, if you're a Christian, I promise I'm a lot nicer to most of my Christian audience. As long as you're not a dishonest piece of shit, I'm willing to have a cordial and lovely civil conversation with you, so long as you're honest with what it is I believe and what I'm saying. I will not suffer individuals who misrepresent me over and over and over again. I just don't have the time in my whole life to do that. Kelly White says, you are very smart for your age. Am I? I'm like almost 30 years old. I don't know if I'm all that smart for my age. What's your thoughts on Inspiring Philosophy? Said Apple user. Bro got absolutely cooked. Both by Justin Deconstruction and Dan McClellan. Inspiring Philosophy is very good at cherry picking quotes from books and sourcing them, having not actually read any of the things that he's quoting. Bro really said Paul wrote the Bible. I don't. Yeah, that was wild. OMG, I must see this debate. Yeah, go check out Deconstruction Zone and Inspiring Philosophy's video debate. That's really great. Now, Dan didn't debate Inspiring Philosophy. He just responded to a back and forth exchange on YouTube, and he demonstrated over and over again that Mike Jones doesn't know how to cite works. He only cherry picks his quotations in order to make it look like the author he's quoting actually says what he wants them to say. He literally lied about history and Dionysus. I love how God will have the final say on Judgment Day. He'll separate the sheep from the goats. Amy, God's not going to say jack shit because, fun fact, Yahweh doesn't exist. And Jesus wasn't the Messiah. It was Jesus who separates the sheep from the goats, not God in the book of Matthew. And Jesus is dead. As far as all the data is concerned, Jesus of Nazareth did not resurrect from the dead unless you have good reason for me to think otherwise. Amy says Jesus is Lord. Yeah, Lord of the Flies. Another slow learner. Yeah, it would seem. It would seem. At Bryce Aroni again with the $2. According to the Bible, God also made eunuchs. Yeah, there are some who, according to Jesus in Matthew chapter 19, there are some who are born eunuchs. That means God made them that way. It's outcomes, but why is it logically necessary that those outcomes do occur in the first place? What? I'm confused on IP's counter argument. I know that the nothing bubble has logical necessities for its outcomes, but why is it logically necessary that those outcomes do occur in the first place? I have no idea what you're referencing. You'd have to show me the explicit, Inspiring Philosophy video so I can get more information. Amy says, again, Amy's being such a keyboard warrior and doesn't want to come up and actually talk to me. It's finished. He is risen. The veil has been torn. Glory to him always. Amy, that's such a lazy thing to say.
Hold on. I have something in the YouTube chat. Brian, you don't need schmugs, and it's because TikTok, to hallucinate. Around 30% to 60% of the world experience something called bereavement hallucinations, and it's actually a really common phenomenon in outside of cultures where it's deemed like a bad thing, especially within Latin cultures. This type of experience is really common. You don't need schmugs. Paul wasn't knocked unconscious. This is such a weird claim in the chat.
That claim comes from people mistakenly thinking that Paul's account in the book of Acts is historically accurate. Because a lot of people think that that Paul was riding on a horse and then he got knocked off, even though it doesn't say that in the book of Acts, and that he got knocked unconscious and that's how he saw Jesus. No. The whole narrative of the Damascus experience never says anything about a horse, him riding on a horse. And also it's not historically accurate. Paul had some sort of visionary experience of Jesus early in his life, but the Damascus experience is not historical.
Yeah, and there's plenty of times during this time period they probably would have meditated or had some sort of ritual account that leave you prone as well. There might have been schmugs. There might have been a lot of different things, but he would have been revered in this culture for this, so it would have made it a lot more common and likely. So I don't understand why the claim that you need schmugs to hallucinate is the wildest claim I've ever heard. Absolutely. People with schizophrenia exist. And that's the entire, premise of the diagnosis is to see and hear things that aren't really there, depending on what type. Some probably more likely auditory, because they're just much more common because it's much more simple of a system in the brain.
Judah Israel says the words in the Bible that prophesied the coming of the Messiah are close to 6,000 years ago. Fun fact, Judah Israel, Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy, and I defy you to actually prove that he did fulfill any prophecies. Let's see. Peter says, I guess you believe that we are corpse walking around without a spirit, right? No, a corpse is specifically a person who's already died. You can't be a corpse walking around. I actually I reject that corpses walk around. That's why they're called corpses, because they're dead. No, we are bodies that are walking around, not corpses. I don't know why you would say that. At Herbie Shine with the 10 pounds. Hello, Governor. For chat, FYI, anyone replying to Cafe will never get a genuine conversation from him. He uses what is this? He uses bait comments to draw people, and then refuses to answer direct questions with direct answers. Since 2012, yeah, Cafe is an absolute joker. He hasn't changed his script in nearly 10 years. He's been doing this bullshit. Cafe, you need to quit that shit. No one's convinced in the least bit by any of your bullshit claims. Judah Israel, did you read what I said about Rome, which proves that prophecy of the coming Christ is true? No, but Judah, you're more than welcome to ask to come up, and I'll have that conversation with you. Stop being a keyboard warrior. At Lose the Dogma, love that name, with a $6.66. To all Christian apologists, bring the evidence and lose the dogma. Also, Paul was probably tripping out on DMT. I don't think he was on drugs, but nonetheless, yeah, he wasn't seeing things which were real. Now I'm going to bring up Judah Israel. Judah Israel, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
Yeah.
Question number 3: how much of your Bible have you actually read?
A lot of it, pretty much all of it.
And then question number 4: what are your pronouns?
He, I'm a male.
He, him?
He,
all right.
I'm a male.
Judah, he,
Yeah.
him. I didn't ask you if you're a male. Judah, he, him. I am Dalton the Bible guy. You mentioned in the comment section you think Jesus fulfilled prophecies. I don't think he fulfilled a single prophecy. Which prophecy do you think he did fulfill?
The one in Genesis 49:10. I think you read the part in context where I said that the words in the Bible are close to 6,000 years old.
Yeah, I did.
Starting with Genesis 49:10.
I also reject that as well. They're not 6,000 years old. Our oldest Bible
Why would you
works
say?
go back to maybe 1500 year BC at most. But let's take a look at this passage from Genesis chapter 49. Nope, not that one.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Genesis 49:10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until he comes to whom it belongs, and to him shall be the obedience of the peoples. So my question for you is, when did Jesus of Nazareth ever rule in Israel? When did he have a scepter?
Do you interpret that as Shiloh, which refers to Christ?
No, because Jesus,
you interpret that
Jesus,
as the-
Jesus never had a scepter, never ruled, and never had like people
No,
ruling.
that's not.
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's not what I asked you. No, I didn't ask you.
It's not
I asked
Jesus.
you your interpretation of that passage.
It's not Jesus because
But
it says
that's not what I asked you. I didn't ask you that though. I asked you when you're talking about the one coming, it's Shiloh. Do you
Shiloh.
know who Shiloh is according to that? Yeah, do you know who that is?
We don't know who Shiloh is because Shiloh's not a real person.
Would you look it up and do you know that you're reading the English words or the original words that's in
Here.
Hebrew, right?
Here.
With the English
Lo
trump, the
Yisor
Hebrew, when I said
Shevet
Shiloh,
mi Lo Yisor Shevet mi Yehuda umi Kochech mi vein reglav ad ki yavo Shiloh velo yikrat amim. So no, this isn't about Jesus because
is that
Jesus.
Shiloh?
Yeah,
I didn't say Jesus. I said Shiloh.
Well, guess
Do you
what?
know who Shiloh is? Shiloh
There is
in that
there
passage.
there is no Shiloh.
When you read that passage, you don't see Shiloh.
I see
Okay.
in the
That's
Hebrew.
what-
In the Hebrew I see Shiloh, which means which
Shiloh, Shil. Okay, how do you spell it?
Shin Yud Lamed Vav.
So I'm saying, do you see? So when you see it in the Hebrew, how is it translated in the English? Is it not Shiloh.
Until he who comes.
How is it translated into
It means
English?
he who comes.
So isn't it not translated what you're reading in the Hebrew? Isn't it not translated in the English Shilo? Yes or no?
Not in my Bible.
So what is it translated in the English?
Until he who comes. Shiloh is he who comes.
And so Shiloh, how do you spell Shiloh?
Shin Yud Lamed Vav.
In English, I said. Stop acting stupid, bro. I said English.
I didn't. You don't. How would I transliterate
bro,
it?
you heard me say. I've been asking you in English. Now you want to act stupid.
How would I transliterate it?
How do you do it in English? Yes, English.
To be clear,
how do you spell it?
To be clear,
you're the one.
To be clear,
you're the one that asked him how to spell it, and he
he
spelled it for you.
I don't need your help. Hold on,
Judah. Just to be clear, do you want me to spell into English letters the transliteration of the Hebrew word Shiloh, or do you want me to tell you what it means in English?
I didn't ask you that. What? Okay, so
do you know what transliteration means?
You read it in English. Excuse me. When you first read, you read it in English, and then I asked you about Shiloh, and it appears to me we're arguing over how we pronounce this word. So my question again, it seems like we're talking about the same word, but now we're arguing over the pronunciation.
Oh, I just pronounce it the way it's written in Hebrew.
It's okay. But it's fine. But in the King James Bible, it's spelled.
I don't care about the King James Bible. So in the Hebrew,
so I can't have a conversation.
In the
with you,
Hebrew,
I'm gonna digress with you.
In the Hebrew, it's spelled.
Oh my God.
Shin Yud Lamed Vav. Oh, he ran away. Probably a BHI doesn't like Hebrew. So, anyways, just so everyone knows, in English, you would some Bible translations say Shiloh. In Hebrew, it's pronounced Shiloh. The Shin has a kirik underneath it, which gives the she sound with the mixture with the yud, so she, and then you have a lamed here. Lamed makes a l sound, and then you have a vav with a cholam above it, so it brings the pronunciation Shiloh, which means until he who comes. But actually, he didn't. He seemed to be stuck on the fact that his English Bible renders Shiloh or Shiloh, as how most English speakers say it, that they render Shiloh as a proper name as opposed to a descriptor of he who comes. It's not a proper name.
He definitely ran because he realized that you speak Hebrew, and he's like, wait, this person actually knows what they're talking about. I'm running.
Oh, he probably one of those people who has his own special version of Hebrew or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, let the record show that Judah Israel ran away when I started to explain to him what the Hebrew actually says. So now, why is Genesis 49 verse 10 not about Jesus? Because the text says that the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until he comes to whom it belongs. And to him shall be the obedience of the people. Jesus of Nazareth was never a ruler in Israel. He never had a scepter or a staff. The people of Israel never were obedient to him. And more likely than not, in my opinion, I think Genesis 49 verse 10 is probably a reference to King David, who actually had a scepter and staff, and to him the obedience of the people did belong. The prophet here is saying that the rulership is not going to leave Judah until it comes to the one it belongs, and that person was King David, not Jesus of Nazareth. So, nice try, Judah, but you got cooked, bud. Off topic, but Strong's is also incorrect if it is not true to be original Hebrew. I agree, Lewis. Everyone who doesn't know, Strong's Concordance is not an accurate dictionary for learning what the Hebrew of the Old Testament says. If you want something accurate, get the Brown Drivers Briggs or the Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament. But the Strong's Concordance is only going to tell you how those Hebrew words get translated into English in the King James Bible, not what they actually mean, not in an accurate sense. God damn, I've got after I got my molar removed, I got like a little bone sticking out of my gums, and it's scratching the hell out of my tongue. Jesus sits at the right hand of God, says Amy. No, and she gave me a bunch of Bible verses. So, Amy, besides the fact that the Bible says so, what's the evidence that Jesus actually sits at God's right hand? Or is that all you've got is Bible passages? I think that's all she's got. Velvet Worm says, my molar cracked recently. I have it in my display case now. Whoa. In your display case. I ain't about all that. Then we have...
It's just your own teeth in the display case, right?
As long as it's just her own teeth, it's fine. Now I got 2 super chats here. One from at 16. Oh well, they don't have a. It doesn't look like they have a username. But at nothing, with the 5, I think it's Russian currency. Is that right? We're about to learn another currency.
Make sure they them pronouns.
Yeah. That not my bad. What? Let's see. The R symbol in the front of a price almost always refers to South African rand. Oh well.
Oh, that's cool.
There you go. So we got 5 South African rands. What did God make eunuchs? Explain all those daemons. What? I don't quite understand the question.
That might have been a reference from the OU individual. I don't know if they might have been trying to use different terminology because of the super chat, but I don't know.
Well, when it says God did make eunuchs, well, that's just the claim that Jesus makes in Matthew chapter 19. And as explained, to explain all those daemons, which is an alternate spelling of the word demons. Demons are not eunuchs. At least in like ancient Christian mythology, demons have genitals, and they use them to fuck around all the time. At Drew Smith TPA with the $2. If it ain't the KJV, they don't want to hear it. Yeah, I don't understand why people are so obsessed with this shit Bible translation.
It's a computer programming joke. Oh, Damon is a computing. Okay, so thank y'all, because I took like 2 semesters of computer information systems. C++ was enough for me, and I was like, never mind. Y'all are too smart. Anyone that can code. It's like a
here. Notice how Dalton
computing. Damon is a. So hold on, let me explain this for people, please. A daemon is a program that runs a background processor rather than being under the direct control of an inactive user. Okay, so it was a programming joke.
Notice how Dalton will consider hallucinations, not the more parsimonious mystical experiences. That's what the Damascus Road experience is, a mystical experience. Is this fucking cafe in disguise? No, mystical experiences are hallucinations and psychological phenomenon. Those are one and the same thing. The cat down the road. No, mystical experiences are just in your head. They aren't telling you anything real, and that's not more parsimonious to believe that that hallucinations are actually mystical experiences. Yes, they do equal the same thing. Sometimes they can.
So there's different areas of the brain that definitely can be involved. Some of them have more imagination, like in visions, while like bereavement hallucinations can take more of memory. But some of the key areas involved are virtually the same. I have like papers on it, and I have all the systems described, and because I've looked at Paul. But yeah, I think colloquially the term hallucination is appropriate, but if you are like getting and diving down into the literature, I think that there should be separate terms because they're not the same thing in the brain at all the time.
At Drew Smith again with the $2. Why does an omnipotent deity need to sit anywhere? That's a good point. And I think the most obvious reason for this, Drew, is that, and I think you know this already because that's why you're posing the questions, because originally the ancient Israelites did not think that God was omnipotent. He certainly wasn't omnipresent. Anyone who reads the book of Genesis is not going to walk away with the conclusion that God is omnipresent, because he has to travel to Sodom in order to see if anything is happening there. Blase 2019. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to speak up a little bit. You're very faint. You sound very far away.
You sound
Can
like
you
you're
hear me?
underwater.
There you
we
go.
go.
Much better.
Okay.
What was that? Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3: how much of your Bible have you read?
Currently, I finished the Pentateuch, the historical books, the wisdom books. I did Isaiah, and I'm up to Jeremiah.
Okay. And then last question: what are your pronouns that you go by?
He, him.
Okay, Blase, he, him. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Tell me, Blase, why should I?
Oh, I wanted, because of your expertise, I wanted to ask you something, just for my education. So I know that, you claim that the servant songs in Isaiah are not about Jesus Christ.
Correct.
Correct? Okay. So I know you have an answer for this because I'm sure you've gone over this. With the Targum Jonathan, like, what is your response to that?
Yeah, the Targum Jonathan is, for everyone who doesn't know what the Targumim are. Basically, when the Jewish people left Babylon, their main language was no longer. You have a lot of background noise, so if you just,
It's my.
I'm just going to mute you up while I answer real quick, and then you can unmute after I get done talking. For anyone who doesn't know, the Targumim are Aramaic translations of the Hebrew Bible so that the common folk in the synagogue could actually understand what was being read. Eventually, certain individuals by the name of Jonathan and Onkelos, for example, created paraphrases of the Hebrew Bible, which inserted their own sort of interpretive spin on the text. Now, these works weren't written until after the time of Christ. We don't have any Targumim from prior to the time of Jesus. And by the time you get to the 1st century CE and onwards, at least I believe that the Jewish people have already renegotiated the text of 2nd Isaiah so that the suffering servant is a suffering Messiah. That being said, I don't think that's what Isaiah, well, not Isaiah, but the author of 2nd Isaiah originally intended for the passage. But that's how the Jewish people at this time in history have recontextualized the Hebrew Bible, because they did this all the time with several passages.
Okay, I was under the impression that the Targum Jonathan was somewhere between 100 to 100 BCE to 1st CE. Do you have like a link to show when the Targum was created?
Let's take a look at that. Let's see. Let's see. Targum Jonathan preaches its classical written form in the late 4th to 5th century CE. Although its underlying traditions are much older, likely 1st century CE or earlier. So it seems like the version we have is from the 4th and 5th century. Now, the underlying traditions might go back to earlier than that, which I'm fine with. I think that by the time you get to the 1st century CE, there's already a tradition that has arisen amongst the Jews that certain passages, which originally were not messianic in nature, had been recontextualized and renegotiated to be messianic in nature, such as like the works of Daniel, for example, with Daniel chapter 9. I think some, like Essenes, for example, we've seen the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are BC, reinterpret Daniel 9's Mashiach, who is like cut through as being the Messiah. So we see, but these are basically renegotiation and recontextualization of the text from Jews trying to make the Bible more more apt for their day and age. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so like if you look at the Targum Jonathan on Sephoria.org, chapter 42, it says, "Behold my servant the Messiah, whom I bring, my chosen, in whom one delights. As for my word, I will put my Holy Spirit upon him. He shall reveal my judgment unto the nations." So is it fair to say that the Christians in the first century, and even if you want to do the fourth century with like Saint Jerome producing the Vulgate, which is the Christian canon in the West, is it fair to say that they're under the impression that the Aramaic translation of the Targum Jonathan defends their position?
Yeah, or at least like the Targum Jonathan and the Christians are getting their information from the same underlying like tradition. I don't think I'm not of the position that the Christians invented Isaiah 53 and whatnot being about the Messiah. I think that this was just a position amongst the Jews during the first century BCE, first century CE, that they were just running with. I just think that this interpretation that they had for the text was just historically and literarily incorrect.
All right, so with that, would you say that the rabbinical Jewish apologetic, that Isaiah, the servant songs in Isaiah, are specifically about the nation of Israel, would be at best misconstrued?
I think they're partly correct. Now, most modern day Orthodox Jews, when they say that the suffering servant is Israel, they mean Israel at all periods of time and all. I disagree with that. I think that what second Isaiah is really speaking about is Israel as they existed during the Babylonian captivity and leading up to their like return from exile. That's the Israel who is the suffering servant, not Israel at all periods in history.
Okay, fair enough. I just think that I've been watching the deconstruction movement for a while, and it seems to me that they've been running with this rabbinical Jewish apologetic that isn't really faithful to history. And I'm appreciative that you've at least conceded that in the first century it is possible that
the rabbis were just wrong. I think the modern day Jewish position is a lot more textually sound than what you would find amongst the Jewish people of like the first and second century, who had sort of strayed away from the plain meaning of the text of second Isaiah. Jewish people today are a bit more faithful and more critical about what the text actually says, as opposed to what does tradition or how have we reinterpreted the text.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would kind of be an opinionated position. I think it's hard to prove that, considering there's 14th century rabbis who agreed that Isaiah 53 was about the Messiah. Yeah, and since we don't have a Masoretic text earlier than, say, like 1100 CE, I feel like the Christian position is solid on where it stands.
No, all you have to do is just read second Isaiah. Like, the text is quite explicit about who the servant is. Jews and Christians who recontextualize the text to be about the Messiah just simply aren't taking into consideration what the text actually says in its historical and literary context.
Yeah, I didn't mention second Isaiah. I mentioned the servant songs of Isaiah, which start in 41, which can be more layered than just what was said in second Isaiah.
Second Isaiah is chapters 40 through 56 of Isaiah.
Oh, so you mean Deutero Isaiah?
Yeah, second Isaiah is another way of saying Deutero Isaiah.
Well, forgive me, I falsely equivocated. I thought you were literally talking about second Isaiah, like chapter 2 of Isaiah.
No, Deutero Isaiah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, listen, I know you've really put the work in with this, and that's why I wanted to hear your position, because I know that you get a lot of like low Christology, Protestant background Christians that aren't actually doing the homework. But I'm still not convinced that your position would be correct, considering that, St. Jerome went through this in the late 4th century.
Well, without appealing to later traditions and later interpretations, what about the text of Deutero Isaiah would lead us to believe that the servant is anything other than like Israel or the prophet himself who's writing this section of Isaiah?
Well, fair enough. And that's why I gave you the Targum Jonathan, which you can pull up on Sephoria.org to show everyone that in chapter 42, that Aramaic translation, which was read during the time of Jesus Christ, says, "Behold my servant, the Messiah."
Yeah, we would just say that, we prioritize data over dogma on this channel, and that's just a dogma. That's just tradition, a recontextualization of the text. The question is, what does the author of 2nd Isaiah himself say?
I mean, I don't think that's fair, considering that that's what was being read in the synagogues during the first century.
I would just say that the Jews of that period were misreading the Bible, that Jewish people in Jesus' time were not like some sort of like pure or perfect people group who knew what the Hebrew Bible actually said. They were reinterpreting the Bible in accordance with their own culture and time.
I can't think of one, Dalton, but I'm sure there's an example that he would actually reject using the same method, where I'm sure there's something he probably disagrees with of these these church fathers that he would reject. So to remain consistent, I don't know. I can't probably think of anything right now.
No, this is tough because you guys are usually dealing with people that aren't prepared. So I understand.
I actually do have an example. Like, do you think, for example, that when the people of Israel were receiving the covenant at Mount Sinai, that God lifted the mountain over their head and threatened to like throw the mountain on them if they didn't accept the covenant?
Look, I know you guys want to ad hoc something, but I want to stay focused on the servant songs of Isaiah.
I'm not ad hocing anything. That's not it's happening, blah. Just answer the question, please.
Yeah,
what was the question?
Yeah, do you, because you accept this idea that, well, this later tradition reinterprets the servant as being the Messiah. Well, do you always accept later rabbinical or later Jewish recontextualizations of the text in all instances?
Well, I reject what you're saying because you're the one defending that position. You're saying that a later tradition of rabbinical Jewish translation goes in front of what was happening during the time.
I don't think you're
understand.
I'm testing your logical consistency here. If you're not going to remain logically consistent, we remain logically consistent unless we have a demonstrable reason otherwise. And if you don't accept all of these later church traditions,
Jewish tradition,
or Jewish traditions, then why are you bringing this up? Do you not know what logical consistency is, Law?
No, I feel like I've asked you a specific thing regarding the servant songs of Isaiah.
But I understand.
You're citing to us later Jewish sources after the time of Isaiah. Do you accept all Jewish interpretations from this time period on the scriptures?
Wait, so let me get this correct. So Deutero-Isaiah, where do you date that as? Like 400 BCE?
Around the time of the return of the exiles.
Can you answer the question though, Blah? Do you accept all Jewish interpretations from this time period? Yes or no?
I don't understand what you're trying to ask me.
Here, I'll make it very simple. The text of the Targums come from a very specific period within Jewish history. Do you accept, and they're giving their interpretation of the book of Isaiah, because Targum Jonathan is not a translation, it's a paraphrase, an Aramaic paraphrase of Isaiah. Do you accept other such Jewish interpretive writings from this time on the scripture consistently?
So like midrashes?
Yeah, midrashes, all other Targums. Do you accept all these other interpretive works from Jews, or do you only accept the ones that align with your Christian worldview?
Well, no, I actually came on because I wanted to hear your defense of this specifically so I could learn. So if you want to go into something else,
this is not.
I'm willing to hear.
What we're doing here is demonstrating that you're choosing to believe in the works of the Targums. But yeehaw! Thank you for the cowboy hat. But you probably don't do that with other works from this time period where Jewish people give their interpretation of a text. You probably would say, well, I don't agree with that interpretation. And if I was asked why, you'd probably go to read the text itself from the Hebrew Bible and show why you don't agree with that Jewish interpretation.
Okay, so do you want to run your example?
for example, do you think that the Jewish people, like that the Mount Sinai was held over the heads of the Jewish people when they accepted the covenant, and God told them that, you'll either accept the covenant or I'll throw this mountain down on your head, all because of the fact that it says that they stood techat, under the mountain, and the later Jews interpreted this to mean that meant that God hoisted the mountain over their head and basically like coerced them into accepting the covenant. Do you accept this in tradition?
Well, where is it specifically? Do you have is there a Targum or a Midrash? And what's the dating?
It's in the Talmud.
Right. So you're claiming the Talmud, the Pentateuch, scripture, right? But then you're saying there's a tradition where they believe that they're hoisting it above their head.
Based on
Do you not
based on
know
the reading
these?
of the scripture.
Wait, so you went out and selected just one thing. You didn't actually educate yourself on the other things written. So it sounds like you went out and instead of like looking at the text and trying to learn about the text, you went and sought out a point to try and prove your position, but didn't educate yourself on any of the other of these Jewish writings during this time period?
No, that doesn't sound correct. I wanted clarification on a specific thing because I know Dalton has done the homework and he has an answer for it. And it seems like now
He
we're just
gave you-
running around in different
No, Block.
parts of the Bible.
No, you're dodging. That's what's happening because you know what's going to happen because you know you don't accept the other Jewish writings during this time period. You're trying to say that the Christian position is better because of this one specific time period where Jewish people interpreted text this way, but you wouldn't accept that for the other writings during this time period. You're cherry picking data to try and prove your point, but it doesn't work because what we do, we're logically consistent, where we remain to read the oldest manuscripts, we interpret them plainly, and then we use contextual analysis to try to understand and make note of what's going on. But you don't want to do that. That is the problem. Is you're being dishonest.
So what's the oldest Masoretic text you have? Since that's what you go by.
I don't go by the Masoretic text. I go by the mixture of the Masoretic and the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Right, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, do they not align with the Septuagint, like things like Psalm 22, when it's my hands and feet were pierced?
No,
or does it go by Doug?
Psalm 22 verse 16 isn't found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's only found.
It's not.
It's found in the Nachal Kever scrolls, but something tells me that you read an apologetic source online that told you, well, in Psalm 22 verse 16 in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says they pierced and not like a lion. But no, there is no Psalm 22 verse 16 in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It is found in the Nachal Kever scrolls, which were from a different cave system away from the Dead Sea area. And there it says Ka'aro Yadaya, which means Ka'aro, which is not a real Hebrew word. Karu is a real Hebrew word, but Ka'aru isn't. And then Yadaya means her hand. You probably don't accept that Psalm 22. You don't think Jesus was a woman, right?
No, I don't think Jesus was a woman.
And yet that text, which has the misspelling of Ka'ari, where the yud has been turned into a vav, therefore it becomes a nonsense word, Ka'aru. The word right after that is also misspelled, so that it's not Yedai, which means my hand, but Yedaya, her hand.
Okay. I'd have to look into that. If you want, you can DM me, send me the sources that you have. My kids are getting a little riley right now. I appreciate your time. Hopefully we can look at these servant songs again or maybe something else. But it's been a pleasure, Dalton. Thank you.
You too.
Wow, nice to meet you too, Blah. I guess F off too. Oh, he wouldn't be a Christian if he wasn't a little misogynistic, wouldn't it, guys? Chat knows what I'm talking about.
Speaking of which, we're gonna bring up our next Christian guest, Catholic Truth, or is it Catholic Truth or Catholic Truther? Catholic Tutor. That's right. We've spoken to you before, but just so I can get a recap, are you at least 18? Bible believer and
Yes.
pronouns.
Yes. He, him.
All right, Catholic Tutor, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. You know my position. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
Well, I last time I was here, I wanted to give you a personal testimony.
I don't care about personal
to
testimony.
bear witness
I
to.
don't care about that. We don't do personal testimony here. So what reason do you have for me I should believe in the Bible? Do atheists usually let you come up here on their lives and give your personal testimony?
Sometimes
That's wild. Why they would ever do that is beyond me. Personal testimony.
I gauged your arguments, and I did answer all of them. And now it's my turn.
No. Well,
to start with my reference point.
No.
Beginning with what God has done in my.
No. No one gives a shit about your personal testimony. I'm sorry. Well, not really sorry, but I don't care. Your personal testimony can never serve as he just ran away. No one.
They really just don't listen to consent.
Christians, no one gives a shit about your personal testimony because, fun fact, personal testimony is only evidence for the person who experienced it. Because I did not experience your personal experience, it cannot be. It's not my experience, and it's not evidence for me. I need something that I can independently verify as to be true. I don't know why y'all don't understand that. Love how Christians demonize all other testimonies from other beliefs. Yeah, that too. As long as it's if it's a belief from another person's religion, well then fuck it, right? And again with the Brazilian rays, it's Brazilian rays. It was a joke with eunuchs and eunuchs. Yeah, sorry, bud. I don't know anything about computers. And Ashlyn, she explained the joke, and I still don't get it because, as Ashley knows, when it comes to computer stuff, I am inept. In fact, I am so inept that today when I had to get Justin's help on computer stuff, I just gave him control over my monitor so he could do things because I just don't understand things when it comes to computers.
Like, I am not that great at computers, but I am like a god, like a giant compared to Dalton. Like I'm pretty handy around them. I can make some stuff work. I can learn some stuff, but like it's when he even Dalton, he's like, why can't I hear you on Discord? I'm like, it's not on speakerphone.
Yeah, I didn't understand that Discord had a speakerphone versus a regular phone setting, and yeah, I just don't know when it comes to tech. I'm not the tech guy.
It's adorable though. Okay, guys, put a 1 in the chat if it's adorable. It's totally adorable. I find it adorable.
I'm like an 80-year-old man. At Brian Evans with the $1.99. Is it true that the Trinity is a pagan thing? And the answer is no. It's not pagan. It's just when I was a member of the Hebrew Roots movement, that was the thing. People used to say all the time, the Trinity is pagan because there are trinities in other religions, but not really. Like, for example, when you have a tri group of gods like Isis, Horus, and Set. Well, they're not really a trinity. They're just 3 gods that have been grouped together. But, in the Egyptian religion, Isis, Horus, and Set are not like a single god within 3 persons. They're 3 separate deities altogether. It's not even remotely close. No, the Trinity is just a later philosophical innovation of Christians in order to try to make sense of how they were interpreting Jesus to be God. Now I'm going to bring up Cordaro Judah. And Cordaro, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I'm 38.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Absolutely.
Question number 3, how much of your Bible have you actually read?
All of it, multiple times.
And then
the extra biblical sources, like the Apocrypha.
And then question number 4, also make sure you're a little bit closer to the mic. You're kind of faint.
Okay.
And then question number 4, what are your pronouns?
The Son of God.
That's not a pronoun.
Huh?
That's not a pronoun.
Not a pronoun? Son of God is not a pronoun?
No. Pronouns are examples of pronouns would be words like he, him, or she, her, or they, them.
Well, as far as I know, son can only be a he, so that's me.
So you go by he, him?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right.
That'd be fine.
I'm going to go Judah, he, him. You made the claim in the comment section that the Trinity is pagan.
Yeah,
Can
it's
you
definitely
can you
pagan.
give me an example of an actual Trinity, where it's like three persons that make up one God that are co-equal, co-eternal within another religion?
Well, the 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 theology of the Trinity is pagan, regardless of its manifestations. We have
Well,
it in
that's
the Greek pantheon
that
of
that
gods.
that
We have
is
it in the
what I just said to you is the theology of the Trinity. So do we
well. But what I'm yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
is all you're saying is that there are other religions that have like groupings of three gods and that's the Trinity?
Yes, and they they
That's
they share preeminence in divinity. These three
well,
gods.
they all share a divinity in the fact that they're all divine beings, but they're not all in these religions. Are these other gods like one God?
No, they're not one God. No.
That's not the Trinity then. Like
Well, there is a Trinity.
I listen, if it was true that the Trinity was pagan, I would jump on that altogether because I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the Bible. I would love to like be like, "Oh yeah, the Trinity is pagan," but like the facts just don't pan out in that direction.
Well, I'm under the impression that anything that is antithetical to the Bible is pagan. Is that not your
No.
concept also?
No.
So
If
things that are
if
antithetical to
Christians
the
make
Bible are not
if
pagan?
Christians make up a concept, then it's a Christian concept because they're the ones who made it up. If they borrow it directly from another religion, then it would be pagan in origin. But the Trinity is a post-biblical Christian innovation of the Bible. It's not something that they derived from other religions.
So if Christians create a tradition or custom that did not derive from the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
it's not pagan unless it came from another heathen source.
Yeah, if it came, it's only pagan if it comes from a pagan source. Otherwise, it's a Christian invention. It's just not it's just not biblical, but that's true of most of Christianity. It's just a Christian innovation, but it's not a pagan borrowing.
I don't really see because I'm listening to you say it's not a pagan borrowing. I guess when you say pagan, you mean you have us, I guess you would say a collection of pagan ideologies and rituals or
In order for the Trinity to be pagan in origin, you have to have a pagan religion, whether it's Norse or Greek or Egyptian or anything like that, where they believe that they have a single deity that expresses itself as three individual persons, but all having the same one divine essence, and they're all being the one God. That's the only way you can have a pagan Trinity.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I don't think that's the only way you
If
can
you
have a pagan
disagree with the
Trinity.
Trinity, that's great because it's not biblical. But you just got to say that it's a post-biblical Christian innovation, not that it's a pagan concept, because it didn't come from
So
pagans.
it could only be pagan if it derives from a previously established pagan belief system.
Yeah.
Christians, so outside of that, if Christians create something that's non-biblical, it cannot be identified as pagan.
No, not unless it comes from a pagan source.
That's pretty.
You would
That's
call
very,
it
very
you would call it a post-biblical Christian innovation, but not a pagan. It's not a pagan borrowing.
Oh, okay. I guess I can see that. I can see that. So it can be non. You're saying in your worldview, it can be anti-biblical, but it doesn't necessarily have to be pagan.
Correct. It's not the Trinity is not biblical, but it's also not pagan. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess I can see that.
So,
why should I believe in the Bible?
Cordaro Judah. Why should I believe the Bible is true?
I would say that most unified and well proven, quote unquote, spiritual text and has the highest level of historicity of any other belief system in existence.
Well, let's put that to the test. Since it's almost Christmas time, let's talk about the nativity stories of Jesus in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke. Do you think that the nativity stories in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke match up with each other?
Yes, I believe it match up, yeah.
All right, let's test your knowledge on the Gospel stories. According to the Gospels of Matthew, was Jesus born during the reign of King Herod the Great?
Uh,
If
you said,
you
was he born in the reign of
and if you
King
don't
Herod the
know,
Great?
if you don't know, it's fine. I can just bring up the
I'm
Bible
unsure.
verse.
I'm unsure if it. What is the yeah? Bring the Bible verse up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men came from the east to Jerusalem. So according to this
Okay. That's
text,
in Matthew's account. Okay.
yeah. So according to Matthew, was Jesus born during the reign of King Herod the Great?
Yes.
All right. Now, if we turn to the Gospel of Luke, the next question is, was Jesus born during the census under Quirinius? So we read here in Luke chapter 2, in those days a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be enrolled. This was the first enrollment when Quirinius was governor of Syria. And this is telling us when Jesus was born. So the question is, do you know when King Herod the Great ruled as king of Judea?
No, I don't.
So Herod ruled as the king of Judea from 40 BCE to 4 BCE, and he died in 4 BCE. The problem is that the census under Quirinius didn't occur until 10 years after Herod was already dead.
Well, that's a pretty thin line against which to formulate a theory. I mean, we have multiple sources. We have multiple sources of historicity that would seem to indicate that 10 years really isn't that big of a discrepancy.
It is, though. Like Jesus cannot be born during the census under Quirinius and also born during the reign of King Herod the Great. In fact,
can't say that.
I can, because if it wasn't for the death of King Herod the Great, the census under Quirinius would have never taken place. Do you know why Quirinius' census took place?
No, I don't. I'm not. No, I don't think. No, I don't think I know.
So when Herod died, his kingdom was divided amongst his 3 sons: Herod Philip, Herod Antipas, and the one that we read about in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 2, Herod Archelaus. Remember in the story, Joseph doesn't want to return to Judea because he wants to avoid Archelaus, who was ruling in the place of his father Herod. Now, Archelaus ruled the region of Judea after his dad died, and Archelaus was so bad at being the ruler of Judea, so bad that the Romans had to depose him. He was so inept that they fired him, and then they exiled him to Vienna. As a result, the region of Judea was annexed to Rome. And after it was annexed to Rome, what do you do after a province gets added to Rome? You have to tax the people. And that first tax, was done when Quirinius was made the governor of Syria in 6 CE. It's impossible for Jesus to be born during the reign of King Herod the Great and also during the census of Quirinius, because Quirinius could not be governor of Syria and do the tax until Herod was already dead.
Well, I mean, to make such definitive, statements about giving currently known information by itself alone, that's it's pretty it's ill-advised.
No,
because we're going off.
It's actually well advised, because I'm being advised by the historical text.
Well, hear me out. What I'm saying is, I didn't say you weren't. But I said making these types of claims that it's impossible that it could have occurred because of these two.
I'll take that back. There's one way it could be possible, and it's if Jesus crawled back up to his mother's vagina and was born a decade later again. Like, is it possible for me to be born in 1996 during the Bush administration, under the Clinton administration, and then to be born 10 years later under the Bush administration? Is that possible?
It's not the same thing.
It is, because
it's not.
The Gospel of Matthew is claiming that Jesus was born just prior to the death of King Herod the Great, which would place his birth sometime between 6 to 4 BCE. And the Gospel of Luke is claiming that he was born when Quirinius was the governor of Syria, which was, we know, it was in the year 6 CE, 10 years later.
I'm not seeing how those two things have to be mutually exclusive.
Because Jesus wasn't. Do you think Jesus was born twice?
No, I didn't say that. I mean, you don't have to mock me. Like, I don't.
This is not me mocking. This is me pointing out the fact that these two events absolutely took place. We know when these things happened. They took place 10 years apart.
We do. We have dates. You're right. You just quoted dates. We do have dates, but exactly how those events transpired, you don't know.
We do.
You don't know
We
exactly
we
what you're
we
talking about.
have works from first century historian Flavius Josephus, who was a Jewish person who lived in the first century CE. He actually knew Nicholas of Damascus, who was King Herod's court historian, and was getting his information about the Herods from Nicholas of Damascus. That's how we know of the history of the first century CE Palestine.
I'm gonna show you something. So you're saying it's impossible for you to be wrong on this topic, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you that it's easy. It's easy for me to prove you wrong on this topic,
All right.
and to prove that you should not make such definitive statements.
Okay.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to do it now. I'm not going to do it now. I'll be back.
Oh.
I'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back. I mean, you gotta
False
think about it.
alarm, guys. False alarm chat.
It's not a false alarm. I need you
False
to
alarm.
calm the
We were
hubris,
gonna
calm the
have
hubris.
the evidence today of why we should believe in God, but he'll come
Gotta
back.
take the hubris at the door. All right. What I'm saying
okay.
is it's easy for men and women like yourselves to create controversy, to identify questions,
Oh, I
instill
didn't.
doubt.
Did you have
I
evidence?
didn't create this controversy.
I'm
We've
not down
known
on
about
Can I
this
finish?
for over 1,000
Yeah.
years. This problem has been known for over 1,000
Can I
years.
finish?
Christian doesn't have the answer, so he's flailing.
That's
Flail.
not what I'm doing if you
You're
if you be hard
flailing.
to listen.
Ugh.
If you be
It's
hard
not.
to
It's not a
listen.
good look.
Here, Judah.
Yeah, just
you
give
need-
us evidence.
Yeah, Judah, you need to speak up a little bit though. You're kind of quiet.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I said it's easier for people like you to do things like this. In order
Like
for me,
know what the Bible
can I finish
says
what I'm saying? Can I finish?
and like understand.
Here, let him say what he has to say.
It's difficult having conversations with women all around, man.
Okay.
What
No,
I'm saying
Oh.
is-
No, leave him up. I wanted him. Throw him to the dogs, literally.
yeah, in the comment section, everyone just roast him. Absolutely. We do not accept misogyny of any kind on this channel. It's hard to have a conversation when
He would like turn around and try a high five to you. He's like, "Are you right, Dalton?"
yeah, what a poor move on his part. He obviously didn't know that I'm very pro woman around here, more so than I am pro Christian.
Someone said he could just be too nervous. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna bring up about Alan, but first I'm gonna read some super chats if I have any. Let me take a look real quick. Yes, at Herbie Shine 1312 with the £5. Other cafe names: The Cat Up the Road, Jimbo Jones, Wreck In It, Frost Mage, Jimmy. There are others, but I've forgotten them. Big Love, D-Man, and Ashlyn. Yeah, listen, cafe, if you're still in the comment section, buddy. Okay. No one gives a shit about your mystical experiences. We have a good full explanation for all of them, and you yourself have not actually read any of the documents that you shill out to tell atheists to read. So stop that shit. Stop it. Get some help. At Bryce Aroni with the $2, the word he's looking for is heretical, not pagan. Yeah, but even then, technically, it's not. The Trinity is not considered heretical because heretical is just whatever the majority of Christians or the people in power, say isn't correct. So heretical is one of those nonsense words that doesn't really have any meaning to people like myself. So about Alan, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3, how much of your Bible have you actually read?
I would say maybe half.
All right, and then question number 4, what are your pronouns?
I'm a guy. He, him, whatever.
He, him. All right.
Correct.
Alan, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Alan, why should I?
Well, would you mind if I ask a question first? I'll answer the question, but would you mind if I ask one first?
You know what? In this case, I'll let it happen. I'll allow it.
Thank you. Can you tell me why you don't believe in it?
Yeah, because the Bible is full of historical and scientific errors, contradictions, and Jesus didn't fulfill any prophecies.
Okay, all right. That's all subjective. I get it.
Well, I can demonstrate those things.
I would say
they're objective.
I'm sorry?
They're objective. I can demonstrate them.
Well, they're subjective. Just because you say they're objective doesn't mean they're actually objective.
No, objective
because
means that I can. It doesn't
I
matter
know what it means.
It doesn't matter what your brain personally thinks about it. Like it's objective that the Bible is anti-science because it says the Earth is flat. That's not subjective. That's just literally what the text says.
Well, I don't know about the shape of the Earth or whatnot, but now what I would believe. So
You mean you don't know what the Bible says about that, or you personally don't know what the shape of the Earth is? I think that needs clarification.
I don't think it matters what shape it is.
It does.
Like, who gives a shit?
I do.
Well, yeah. If you want to talk about science, this would
I don't
be
wanna talk
like
about science.
really pertinent to the point.
I didn't bring up science.
Yeah, it matters if you want to know whether or not the Bible is false or true.
Well, I've heard different things as far as the Bible preaching in that it's flat, but I don't know. I mean, I guess common sense would tell you that it is round because that's what we've been taught since birth.
That's what's been demonstrated to us.
Right. Okay.
Objectively.
So, I'm sorry?
Objectively. Now,
you don't believe, so you're both atheists, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So, what do you guys believe then?
Not the Bible, which is what we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, clearly. But
What
do you believe?
Not in the Bible. I believe in anything which is demonstrable via evidence. So the question is the Bible demonstrable via evidence?
It depends. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can demonstrate in the Bible. I mean, Christ was a real person. Whether he'd done the things that he'd done is a different question. But he was, in fact, a real person.
I agree that Jesus of Nazareth was a real person, but he didn't fulfill any prophecies.
Well, that's your opinion, but you don't know that for a fact.
I mean, can you point me to any that he did?
Can you point me to any that he didn't, objectively?
Yeah, did he? Yeah, objectively, I can. The book of the prophet Isaiah says in the last days that
Dalton, it's not. He's trying to burden shift.
Well, I'll just say this last thing then. Like, no world peace. That's objective.
You're right. There's not world peace. Who said that there was going to be world peace?
Isaiah chapter 2. Now, what prophecies did Jesus fulfill?
Sorry.
Isaiah chapter 2. Now, which prophecy did Jesus actually
Can
fulfill?
you read me the description?
No. What passage did Jesus actually fulfill?
I don't know. But I need you to tell me like what the scripture was though.
Well, since you don't know any like prophecies in the Bible, you just make the claim that he did fulfill prophecy even though you don't know for sure. Fine, I guess I'll go ahead and read this passage. Let's see if this actually happened or not during the time of Jesus. The word which Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, it shall come to pass in the latter days that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established as the highest of the mountains, and shall be raised above the hills, and all the nations shall flow to it. And many people shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and that we may walk in his paths. Out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between the nations, and shall decide for many peoples. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. This has not come to pass. Jesus did not fulfill this prophecy.
What did it say about world peace though?
Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
You're taking the bait, Dalton.
That's fine. He
Doesn't
doesn't
mean world peace.
he doesn't know the Bible though. That's the problem. He doesn't know of any prophecies that Jesus fulfilled.
I never claimed to know everything about the Bible. I never claimed to. I'm deconstructing from mainstream Christianity myself, but I'm still a believer that God exists. Just because logic tells you that God exists, whether it's some sort of ancient civilization or it's the actual God in the sky, I don't know.
Not Yahweh
but
though.
To say that nothing created everything is that doesn't make any sense.
There was no creation, as far as I can tell. Do you have any evidence that the universe ever had a beginning?
There has to be a beginning, because if gravity has always existed and gravity has always been ever evolving, then there has to be a point. There has to be a starting point.
Why?
Hold on, I'm gonna tag Quanta.
Yeah.
Quantonaut.
Yeah. Why do you think that?
Because gravity has always existed. So if gravity has always existed, then there has to be a starting point.
Well, no, that's if gravity has always existed, then there doesn't need to be a starting point. That's why it's
Yes,
if
there
something's always
is.
existed, it doesn't need a starting point. Those two things are quite literally the diametrically opposed to each other, the exact opposite.
Well, I mean,
Do you believe God's always
that's.
existed?
I'm sorry.
Do you think God's always existed?
Yeah, I do.
Then according to your logic, he has to have a starting point. Because if
No, he doesn't. Can I explain why he doesn't?
well, it's because in your worldview he's always existed, therefore he doesn't need a starting point, right?
Well, then let me explain why, though. Are you going to allow me to explain why?
I mean, I suppose you can, but I don't see what the point would be because, I mean, it's just quite evident that
because
if
if
something's always existed, it doesn't need a starting point, right? That's just obvious.
Because he is the creator of existence in itself.
Well,
He's the creator of time, space, and matter, which makes up
whoa,
existence.
the Bible never makes that claim.
You're
So,
saying,
so you're not talking about the
if you're
God.
saying,
You're not talking about the God of the
yes,
Bible
it
anymore,
does.
then, are you?
The Genesis, it explains all of those. In the beginning,
no,
there's
no, it doesn't.
Yes,
Also,
it does.
here we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
In the beginning, there's time. He
No.
created the earth.
Well,
I
no,
saw the
what-
bat signal.
where does it say that God created time?
In the beginning.
In the beginning, what?
In the beginning. That's it right there. Time.
That doesn't say that God created time.
It doesn't matter. That's
No, it
how you
does.
interpret.
No, you've made the claim that God created time. What's
You don't set the criteria
what's
for
the
what's-
what's
what's
the what's
true,
the
what's
evidence
not.
that God created time? Because the Bible doesn't make that claim. Why are you making that claim?
Basic human logic says that this was created.
Here, Quantanaut, do we have any evidence
My
that
point
that
being, if you
time
let me
ever
finish,
had a
though.
beginning?
If you would let me finish. I see how you got to do. You do.
We
3
don't have any direct evidence.
some more
There are
theories
some
of it.
models that show that there might be a first moment, but not that it would have been created. That doesn't really make sense.
Quantanaut, by the
Oh.
way, is an actual physicist.
Oh yeah, you're right. I totally changed my mind because some random guy come up here and said that.
He's not a
You're
random
right.
guy. Quantanaut's an actual physicist.
No, he's random to me.
I work on particle colliders.
Oh, congratulations, man! You're absolutely right. You've totally changed my mind, by the way.
Okay,
can
be a smartass.
I
He
can
give
elaborate if you
give
want.
evidence.
I'd be a smart ass if I want.
No,
You
you
can kick
can't.
me if you want.
Wow. As soon as your presuppositions
You gotta
about
let me finish my story, though. Just let me finish it.
I just came here to help.
here,
You know?
here, 1 second,
Just
Quantanaut.
let me
Look,
finish.
I'm going to press him on this. Where does it say in the Bible that God created time?
In the beginning.
Okay, but where does it say He created time? All that tells me is that
In the beginning.
in the
in
begin-
Genesis.
Well,
In the
actually, it doesn't say in the beginning in the original Hebrew. That's incorrect.
What does it say?
It says Bereshit, which means in the beginning of, not in the beginning. There's a difference. In the beginning
In the beginning.
of God creating the heavens and the earth was formless and void, as in, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. When God begins his act of creation, there's already a planet, there's already darkness, there's already waters. The first act of God in his creation of the heavens and the earth is saying, let there be light. It's not saying that God created time, it's just that in the beginning of God creating the heavens and the earth was without form and void, which is why most
Well, that's
Bible
you-
translate. No, it's a temporal clause.
That's your term.
No. This is the consensus. This has been known even by Jewish people since the medieval time. Like actual Hebrew speakers know the difference between the phrase Barishonah in the beginning versus Bereshit in the beginning of, which is why amongst both Christian and Jewish translations, modern scholarly translations, Genesis 1:1 gets translated as when God began to create the heavens and the earth was complete chaos and darkness was upon the face of the deep. There is no creation of time. Primordial matter already existed when God begins his act of creation. The waters, when did God create the waters?
I was just waiting. Are you finished?
Yeah, because when I asked a question, the obvious implication is
Well,
that...
I kind of tuned out after a second. I just want to finish my statement. That's it. You won't let me finish.
No, fuck you. Fuck you absolutely tuned out. You don't give a shit. No, shut up. You don't give a shit about
That's not how conversations work.
You don't give a shit about what's true. You have a dogma that you came up here with, and as soon as I start spitting facts to you about what your fucking Bible says, you just tune it out Because you don't give a shit what the Bible says. You have dogma that you believe about the Bible, and you don't give a shit if someone who actually speaks Hebrew teaches you something, or if a physicist tells you something. You don't give a shit about anyone, because About Alan knows more about the Bible than the people who's actually read the fucking book, even though he doesn't know a single messianic prophecy that Jesus fulfilled and doesn't speak Hebrew. He wants to come up here and give me a lecture about how he's going to tune me out and not listen about the facts. Sorry, Alan, the facts don't give a shit about your subjective opinions.
My subjective opinions are not subjective. Who do you think crucified?
Yes, they are. What a stupid what a stupid fucking sentence to say. My subjective opinions are not subjective. You just labeled them as subjective, you moron. Now you're going to actually
Also,
listen.
opinions by their definition are subjective.
Yeah. You can't even point
Who
to
do you think crucified Christ?
the Romans.
Stop fucking muting me, you.
The Romans crucified Christ. Or Jesus, because Jesus wasn't the Christ.
Ooh, we're getting angry.
Claim to know God. Those are the ones that crucified Christ.
No, the Romans crucified Jesus.
The Romans physically crucified Jesus. But it was the Pharisees who were actually the ones that had him crucified.
The Pharisees. I thought Caiaphas.
Correct.
I thought Caiaphas was responsible for crucifying Jesus.
No, who do you think come in? Who do you think Jesus was pissed off at when he come into the temple flipping over tables and shit? That was the Pharisees.
No, he pissed off the temple leaders.
Which is the Pharisees, which
No,
is Jews.
No, you idiot.
Yes.
Oh my God, my guy gets his theology from Passion of the Christ. The temple leaders were not Pharisees, you dipshit. The people who ran the temple were the Sadducees, who didn't believe in the resurrection.
Pharisee.
And no, Caiaphas, who was the high priest,
wrong.
was it not the high priest that decided that Jesus was guilty? That was a question. Was the high priest?
You had so much to say earlier.
Stop muting me.
Let me just, if there's no cosmology help, I think I might hop down for a moment, but I'll be in the sidelines if you need me.
All right.
Yeah, we thought it was
Seems
going
like
to go
he does
there.
not want to engage with the
Thank you,
science at
Quan.
all.
He doesn't want to engage with very much.
No worries.
Yeah. It sounded like it would be an interesting conversation. Thank you for being here. I apologize.
Could have been. Yeah, it's fine. There's next time. All right, be there in a bit.
So, Alan, I'll ask you this question. You made the claim that the Pharisees are responsible for killing Jesus. Wasn't it the high priest who's the one who made the decision to crucify Jesus?
No, it was Pilate that used that. He was the one that crucified
who
Christ.
performed the trial? Who is the one who ran the trial over Jesus? The one who said, "You've heard it for yourself, folks. He's guilty of blasphemy." Who said that?
You're the one that is denying these facts here.
When the Jewish no,
Pharisees-
you don't know the gospel is the problem. When the gospels say that Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, who did they bring him to first?
You can sit here and hide behind your phone.
Alan, you're embarrassing yourself on your lack of knowledge in the Bible. Who did the soldiers who arrested Jesus? Who did they bring him to?
Why don't you tell me?
The high priest.
Which is who? The fucking Pharisees.
No,
you fucking cocksucker.
no, Alan. This is so funny, and embarrassing, and this is gonna be.
Yeah.
No, the high priest was Caiaphas, and Caiaphas was a Sadducee.
It was the fucking Pharisees.
It was the Sadducees. Do you
Pharisees.
Do you even know who the Sadducees are?
Do you even know who the Pharisees are?
Yes, I know probably more
you
than you
don't.
do. I've actually read the
Fucking
rank.
shit,
I've actually read the ranks of the Pharisees, probably unlike you. Now you have ignorantly made the assumption that the Pharisees are the ones who are running the temple. That was exclusively the job of the Sadducees, and that's why the Sadducees. That's the reason the Sadducees don't exist anymore. By the way, do you know why the Sadducees don't exist anymore and the Pharisees continue to exist? Is because after the destruction of the temple, which is where the Sadducees' power was in, the Sadducees disappeared, but the Pharisees who were not the temple leaders, continued to exist and became the rabbis that we know today. So no, Caiaphas is well known as being a Sadducee.
Pharisees. Sorry, you're incorrect.
You're just an idiot. This guy just showed everyone live on the show that he doesn't know anything about the Bible. Anything. That's insane. Wow. That was embarrassing as hell. What's with the
that was
guest
a
today?
major crash out. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is about the guests today that they insist on like repeatedly embarrassing themselves like that. As everyone knows, it was the high priest Caiaphas, who was a Sadducee and not a Pharisee, who like determined that Jesus should be crucified. In fact, there's parts of the Gospels where the leaders want to arrest Jesus, and the Pharisees actually warn him and tell him to get out of Galilee because Herod's men are coming to arrest you. Crazy how that works, huh? Gee whiz. And if you read the Acts of the Apostles, the main people that the early Christians were in contention with were the Sadducees, not the Pharisees, because the Sadducees didn't believe in the resurrection of the dead, which is what Christians were preaching. All right. So I'm going to bring up our next guest, Aaron. Aiden, let's see, guest box. Aiden, we've talked to you before, just so I can get a reminder. You are a Bible believer, over 18 years old. You go by he, him. Is that correct? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said yes.
All right. Aiden, welcome back to the show. Why should I believe the Bible is true?
All right. Well, just first, just on the last one, Caiaphas actually was a Pharisee. You can read that in John 18:3. Because it was said, I'll just read it for you. It says, "So Judas came to the garden, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and Pharisees."
And the Pharisees. But Caiaphas wasn't a Pharisee. He was a member of the chief priests. He was the high priest, which would make him a Sadducee.
No, it's from the Pharisees.
No.
Where does it say he was a Sadducee?
The fact that he's the high priest. Who were the priests in the temple during the 1st century CE?
He was a Pharisee.
No, they were the Sadducees. God damn it. Josephus explicitly connects the high priestly families with the Sadducees in Antiquities of the Jews.
But it doesn't say in the Gospels that Caiaphas was a Sadducee.
It says he was the high priest, which would make him a Sadducee. Come on, dude.
That doesn't say it in the Gospel.
Wow.
Bros doesn't know what a conjunction is.
Yeah. Also, dude thinks that the Gospels are the only information we have on Caiaphas. They're not.
Well, it's the best information we have.
No, it's not. The Gospels are anonymous works. We don't know who wrote them. Therefore, they're not the best information. Now, Josephus' work, we actually do know, although the Gospels agree with Josephus, because Josephus says that Caiaphas was the high priest and the high priests were Sadducees. The Gospels say that Caiaphas was the high priest. I don't know where y'all are getting this information that he was a Pharisee. The text never says that.
You can look it up.
I did look it up.
But yeah, you're right. Josephus does agree with the Gospels. But
And
I'd say the reason...
and says that Caiaphas was a Sadducee. Antiquities of the Jews, 13.297 and 18.17. Why do you think the Sadducees don't exist anymore, and the Pharisees do? Why do you think that is?
I don't think either of them exist anymore.
Well, the Pharisees went on to become the rabbinical leaders. Orthodox Jews are the spiritual successors of the Pharisees. So the Pharisees exist in the Orthodox Jews. Where did the Sadducees go?
I don't know. They probably just folded into the Pharisees. They went away.
No, they disappeared. And you know why they disappeared? Because the Sadducees worked in the temple, and the temple was destroyed in 70 CE, which is why the Sadducees lost power and disappeared. The Pharisees continued to exist because they were the ones who ran the synagogues, not the temple.
I think they ran everything.
No, they didn't. Listen, Christians have got to stop making claims about the Sadducees and the Pharisees and the Essenes. Y'all don't know jack shit about Judaism in the 1st century CE. So, like, stop making claims about it.
I mean, you just got to go with what the Gospels say. So
No, you don't. The Gospels are wrong all the time.
well, Josephus, you said, verified them.
No, Josephus agrees. Okay, the Gospels are correcting that that Caiaphas was the high priest, and Josephus tells us the high priests were Sadducees. So therefore, Caiaphas was a Sadducee. I don't know why y'all want him to be a Pharisee so badly.
Because it said the Pharisees were the ones that are
wait a minute. Shut up, real quick. About Alan in the comment section, very Christian, saying, someone hurt this guy big time, LOL. Someone hurt this guy big time, LOL. Alan, you're a shit Christian, aren't you? Well, we already knew that, but you just demonstrated it further. Anyways, Aiden, I don't know why you're so obsessed with being wrong about Caiaphas, but none of the data supports your position that he was a Pharisee. Not a single thing. The Gospels never say it.
Dalton, Acts 5:17.
Acts 5:17. Let's take a look. Where's my other? Acts 5 verse 17. Let's see. But the high priest rose up, and all who were with him, that is the party of the Sadducees, and filled with jealousy. Holy shit. Look at that. The high priest and what? All the party with him, which were who? Here, I'm gonna let everyone see what the Bible says. But the high priest rose up, and all who were with him, that is the party of the Sadducees, and filled with jealousy.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Ken, because Ken DM'd me. That was not on my own accord. W Ken in the chat, because he just sent that over to me.
Crazy how even the Bible agrees with me on this point.
Okay, so it was Caiaphas that presided over the trial of Jesus.
Yeah, the Sadducee. He was a Sadducee.
Oh, okay. So the Sadducees presided over Jesus' trial.
Yeah, Jesus preached the resurrection of the dead. They didn't like that,
and they didn't believe in the resurrection.
That's correct. They only believed in the 5 books of Moses, and they didn't believe in the resurrection of the dead.
And now, where are they now?
They disappeared because the temple was destroyed and they were wiped out. The Pharisees,
just like Jesus said.
When did Jesus say that?
He said, "Not one of these stones will stand on another." He predicted the temple would be destroyed.
That's not true, though, is it? The Western Wall still stands.
The Western Wall does, yeah, that's true.
Which is a bunch of stones standing on each other.
Well, maybe it's going to get knocked down someday.
Well, and when that happens, then Jesus can be correct, but until then, he's not.
Almost. I mean, we're close. All it takes is the Western Wall to fall, and then what do you think is going to happen on the Temple Mount?
Nothing. I don't think nothing's going to happen on the Temple Mount.
This is just sad.
You know they call it Al-Aqsa now.
I'm very familiar with the Dome of the Rock.
Are you familiar with Al-Aqsa flood?
No.
Oh, that was the operation. That's what they called the operation on October 7th. It was called Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. So
cool for
that
them.
whole site,
has nothing to do with Jesus, though. Jesus also said that. Jesus also says in that same exact chapter, Matthew 24, that that these things would soon come to pass. They didn't.
I just want to know. I didn't. Since the last conversation, have you looked into the Torah since our last conversation?
You mean the first 5 books of the Bible?
Oh, good job. You did some reading. Good job.
Okay, have you looked into the Torah?
Yeah, dude. I used to practice Judaism. I would read the Torah every fucking week, all the time.
Torah too is like actually one of the areas that I'm most interested in, as well. Especially the horrific parts about women.
Do you know what the Tanakh is?
Yes.
Yes, the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim. It's the acronym that Jews use for the Hebrew Bible.
Yeah.
How many books? How many books are in the Tanakh?
The whole Old Testament.
How many books? How do the Jewish people number them? How many books?
How many books?
Yeah. How many books do Jewish people believe are in the Tanakh?
Well, not the full 66.
How many?
Probably like, I don't know, 30 something.
24.
Okay.
Yeah. I know more about the Tanakh from a Jewish perspective than Christians do. Let's not play the trivia game. Now,
How did you get into Judaism?
What?
How did you get into Judaism?
Oh, when it became very obvious that Jesus didn't fulfill any prophecies, then but at the time I believed in God, so I just reverted to Judaism because Christianity wasn't true.
And did you convert or something, or how did you?
I became a Noahide.
Oh, okay. And then.
So why should I
Okay.
believe the Bible is true, Aiden?
Well, you used to, but
Yeah, but why should I do it
I don't
now?
think you need. Yeah, it's not so much to believe in the Bible, but you need to believe in Jesus.
Okay, I can't believe in Jesus until he fulfills prophecies.
Well, he's already fulfilled. Like a lot of prophecies have already fulfilled.
Not even one.
But I would say, Israel.
What? That wasn't anything.
Yeah, Israel is prophetic.
No, it's not.
Is Israel like?
The state of Israel has nothing to do with Jesus being the Messiah or not. I asked you what prophecies Jesus fulfilled as the Messiah.
Well, the resurrection.
When was the resurrection prophesied in the Hebrew Bible?
It's in Isaiah 53.
No, it's not. Isaiah 53 is not about the Messiah.
I see. Okay, but the reason you should believe in Jesus is John 3:16.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Cool claim. Cool story, bro. Why should I think that's a true claim?
Because just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up.
I
That
don't
everyone
think
who
Moses
believes
existed. I don't think Moses existed. So Moses
Didn't you,
did.
you say you used to be a Noahide. Like,
Yeah,
obviously,
Moses didn't exist.
Moses existed.
Moses never lifted the bronze serpent in the wilderness. We have no evidence that Moses existed.
So how do you think you think the Jewish people have just been making this whole story up this whole time?
Well, yeah, that's how most
About Moses?
that's how most tribal traditions work. Well, it's over time. It starts off a very small story tradition, and over time, as the generations go on, they like accumulate and accumulate.
Did you ever go to a Passover when you were in Judaism?
Yep, Passovers exist, but the event that inspired the Passover never happened. The Jewish people were never enslaved in Egypt. We have no evidence of this.
Oh, that's what Jewish people believe.
I know that's what they believe, but a bunch of people believing something doesn't make it true. If
But
so,
you
there
don't
are,
have any
there
other-
are there are millions of kids who believe in Santa Claus. Doesn't make him real.
Well, it's like the tradition that like Jewish people have been celebrating the Passover this whole time and Hanukkah.
Not this whole time. Wait, you're not going to be able to demonstrate that Jewish people have always been keeping the Passover. At best, you're going to be able to demonstrate that they've been doing it at least since the post-exilic period. At most.
Well, even the Last Supper was a Passover meal.
Sure,
That's why
Jews were celebrating
Passover.
Passover in the first century CE. That doesn't tell me whether or not Moses existed.
Okay.
Tradition.
And Hanukkah too, because Jesus also celebrated Hanukkah. That's the
Yeah,
festival of
I
lights.
know Jesus as a Jew in the first century would have celebrated Hanukkah. I don't believe in the miracle of the lights, though. Are you just going to keep listing off stories, or are you going to give me any evidence that any of this actually happened?
Well, it's like you got to look at the Jewish people and see that all the evidence is in the Jewish history.
All of the evidence seems to lead us to the idea that the Jewish people are just a spin-off of the Canaanites. They're just another group of Canaanites.
Well, right now they were just another group of Canaanites.
Yes.
There wouldn't be so much fighting between them and the other Canaanites.
Do you think?
What?
Wait a minute. Are you under the belief that all of the other Canaanite groups, like the Ammonites and the Moabites, that they were all like buddy with each other? Like, have you read Genesis? Even
No,
in
they all fought.
even in
I was
Genesis,
about to say the Philistines.
even in Genesis,
Today they're fighting. Yeah, today, they're always fighting against the Philistines, and today they're fighting against the Palestinians.
oh god, don't even start with that. Don't start with that bullshit.
No.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
even if you read the book of Genesis, Genesis 14, Abraham's nephew Lot gets kidnapped, and there's a war between the local Canaanite tribes. The Canaanites were not friendly with each other, and the Israelites were just another group of Canaanites that were also not friendly with the other group of Canaanites. They had the same language, they worshiped the same high god. They're just another group of Canaanites.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm just saying this is why they're fighting today.
I don't give a shit about your horrible take on the genocide that the Israelis are committing against the Palestinians. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
And fuck Israel.
Well, that's your opinion, but
no, it's not my opinion. They are actually committing a genocide. The who is the organization that basically sets the criteria for what is and isn't a genocide, Ashlyn? They're the ones who
the UN.
The UN has
United Nations.
They have a specific section of the UN dedicated to.
Yeah, Human Rights Watch. Virtually, like everyone, pretty much all the main scholars in the field who've studied genocide have also looked at it and condemned it as a genocide. The only people that aren't condemning it as a genocide are people who are generally either religious or in Israel, and even people in Israel don't always. I mean, Zionist as well. So, like it's very clear what's going on. Even professors from the universities inside are looking at the systems in which they're using to starve the Palestinian people, writing about it and saying, "Hey, this is wrong." So it's pretty obvious. If you don't think so, you're either living under a rock and you haven't seen it, or you're just a shitty person.
And also, don't think for a second that modern day Palestinians are the descendants of the Philistines. They're not. They're Arabs. They're not descendants of the Phoenician people. That's a stupid.
Yeah,
take.
they're spiritual Philistines.
No, they're
but yeah,
not.
I know
they're not. They're not spiritual
that's why
Philistines
people,
either.
obviously, they're not.
They're not
indigenous.
spiritual Philistines either. You dunce. That's not a thing.
Yeah, I know they're not indigenous to the land like they claim. It's part of more of the false claims that you.
Oh my God, they're more native to the land than any Jewish person living there right now.
No, you just said they're Arabs.
Yeah, they've been living there longer than any Jewish person in the Middle East right now is living there.
Jews have been there, I mean, since the Bible times.
Nope, they were exiled. Don't know if you fucking remember this, but after the Romans destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD, the Jewish people were kicked out, and they've been living all over the fucking place since then.
That was 135 AD. They got
just add a quick thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, yeah,
So,
the Arabs didn't come to.
The word Arab does not mean what you're using it as. So it is not an ethnic identity.
It's a language.
It is a cultural identity. So the Palestinians are not ethnically Arab.
Oh, okay. You'll probably know more about this than me.
The only ethnic Arabs would be people were the Arabs of Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, etc. The Iraqis, they're Arab culturally. The Syrians are Arab culturally. The Lebanese and Libyans and Egyptians, and the Palestinians are Arab culturally. In the same way that, for example, whatever European culture is imposed upon the colonized nations, in the same exact way, the Arabized countries would be Arab, but ethnically, no. Palestinians are indigenous to the land.
There you fucking go, Aiden. Indigenous.
And you can look up a lot of modern genealogy studies, etc., that show that they are more tied to archaeological sites and DNA found within them from 2,000 plus years ago. They're not linked to the same haplogroups and genotypes of the Arabs of the Arabian Peninsula. They're not the same people.
100 years ago, Aiden, the Jewish people who live in Israel now, where were they 100 years ago?
They weren't alive.
No. Where were their ancestors 100 years ago?
All over the world. There's a diaspora.
So while the Jewish people have been living in diaspora for 2,000 years, who's been living in that place?
A bunch of people. After the Jews, there was Byzantines. There was you know what the
Byzantine is not an ethnicity.
Yeah, it was an empire. Do you know about the Islamic caliphates?
Sounds like these people are more
Islam is not
indigenous.
an ethnicity either.
It sounds
If
like
they've been living on the land for thousands of years, they're entitled to the land. You don't get to say that, oh, my great time is 5,500 grandfather lived there 100,000 years ago, so I'm going to go back. That is not how it works. In the same way that I'm assuming Bible guy is white, he wouldn't just go and claim citizenship in Denmark.
I'm not moving. I can't
hold
move
on.
to Belgium and then claim the land there. Just 'cause my ancestors were there.
Kind of. Ida and Aaron, you are a W ally to the indigenous populations of North America. Get the fuck out. If you want to play this game, Iden, get the fuck out.
What are you talking about?
Leave America. You're not. Your ancestors aren't from here.
You're not indigenous.
And go try to claim citizenship of
I didn't
wherever you
say
came from.
I didn't say Arabs can't live there. I'm saying it's always been the Jewish homeland.
It's not. It hasn't always been.
Even if it were, it doesn't matter. The population that lives there right now has lived there continuously for thousands of years.
For 2,000, for nearly 2,000 years,
Yes, they have.
nearly 2,000 years, that piece of real estate has not been the Jewish homeland. So it doesn't matter who used to live there, because if we really want to get technical about it, all the fucking Jews should leave, and all the Canaanites should be living there, because that was theirs originally. If you go back even further,
Who were the Canaanites?
well,
The
sadly,
descendants of which would be the modern day Palestinians.
So I don't think you even know about what about the Mizrahi Jewish people in which Israel has tortured the like all the other Jewish groups that they sterilized, the black indigenous Jewish individuals that they tortured. Iden, what about those?
Is you're harboring
No,
a
I mean, yeah,
ethnic
you're right. It's Israel is the homeland for Mizrahi, Sephardic, Ashkenazi,
and for Palestinians,
Israel.
and for Palestinians.
Well, the problem with the Palestinians is they want to free Palestine from the river to the sea, and so that doesn't have anything.
because it is occupied.
Yeah, they don't
It is
want the
occupied
West Bank
militarily.
being taken over. They don't want the Gaza Strip being like literally boomed to non-existence. They don't want to be starved. Yeah, literally, if you don't know what's happening there, and you think that all of that's justifiable, then you're just fucking insane. You're a shitty human being.
You think it's justifiable to get rid of Israel?
I didn't say that.
Yeah, what do you think freeing Palestine from the river to the sea is?
It means free them from oppression.
Free from oppression, Iden.
After the HCOS, so you're on the same
Free
side.
them from oppression,
No.
Iden.
No, I didn't. There are plenty of rabbis, there are plenty of HCOS survivors in which say free Palestine.
Okay, but when they do free Palestine, they do like Operation Al-Aqsa Flood.
Okay,
So
I
you
didn't.
see October 7th? Have you seen that
Who's the giant terrorist organization in the Middle East? Is it the country that has attacked 5 different countries in 20
Even more
in like
now.
20 6 different
more, you
actually,
have Vero.
with over 32,000 attacks? Or is it? This has gotten way off the Bible topic.
That's fine,
Or
though.
is it? Or is it the country that defends itself against individuals who go in, grape their children, lock them up, steal their food, literally take their yeah, Chris, I'm going off. Yeah, 36,000 times now. That literally oppress them to the point that if a child even gets angry and throws a rock, they'll boom him. They'll go into his house. They'll take their children. I mean, I know stories. I mean, my ex-partner, whom I still live with, his mom is in the West Bank, and she's had to move because of settlers. Because they were Christians, by the way, Iden, and they were still persecuted.
Yeah, H Group is the T organization. That's why they're being destroyed right now.
No, it has nothing to do with age group. They could have released the hostage. They tried to release the
They shouldn't
hostages
have taken the
over like
hostages.
8 times now.
Why did they even take hostages? A group that takes hostages.
Because they had a wall around them.
Do you mind if I just add this? Why does Israel have tens of thousands of Palestinian hostages?
So, like when H group goes and takes hostages, that makes them.
No, answer.
Sure,
answer
they're taking hostages in retaliation
Yeah.
of tens of thousands of Palestinian hostages being taken. Have
Answer,
you seen the article that said that?
Yeah.
Did you see that one article that said that Palestine exchanged, what was it, like a number of Israeli women and children in exchange for Palestinian females and teenagers?
Yeah, they did a prisoner exchange.
A prisoner exchange, Jamil. Why did they call the Palestinians females and teenagers and the Israelis women and children?
What are you talking about? If they both had prisoners on both sides and then they exchanged them.
I'm talking about the language that is being used.
But how did the H group get those prisoners? They went
Sure,
in
in the same way that Israel got its prisoners.
They took them. No,
In the
they
same way
didn't.
that Israel got its
Who has
prisoners.
more? Who has more prisoners?
They broke in.
Here, Ems. Who has more prisoners?
Israel has tens of thousands,
Yep.
including thousands of women and children. Some of them are literally like 9 and 10-year-olds.
Yeah, that's who H group took. They took.
And no, this is what Israel has taken.
Israeli hostage. Those are hostages that the Israelis
You know
have
about the
taken.
Beavis, you know about the Beavis children? You know how old they were?
See that again?
Do you know how old the Beavis kids were?
Who are the Beavis kids?
They were the babies that H group took on October 7th.
Sure, that is fucked up of them. In the same way, it's fucked up
yeah,
of Israel.
that makes-
I love how Aiden's
the
argument
people
is
who
here.
are-
I love how Aiden's argument is here. So, yeah, I know that Israel has done a shitty thing, but what about this other group? As if that excuses it. And also, Israel has more fucking hostages.
Yeah, so if H group took Fear Beavis, that makes him a T group.
I want you.
Sure, the
I
same
want,
way that
I want
the
you.
IDF is a T group.
Aiden, I want you to call out Israel right now for all their hostages.
Okay, will you condemn H group right now?
Yeah, I condemn hostage taking of any kind. Do
We
you?
we don't sit here and preach that H group is like this glorified thing. But when you've actually looked at the history and you understood that the oppression was on the end of the side like the Jewish state coming in and taking, like, just something as simple as the olive trees in the area. They would go in and then they'd steal land. They'd beat the shit out of their families. They'd threaten them, and they'd use the force of the United States and Britain to do so. Like, this is just always how it's been. And their land has been getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So I'm not saying that it's justified that any children were harmed in this, but it's understandable that after a while, when you keep getting punched in the face over and over and over and over and over again, that you're going to fight back. It is nothing comparable to what Palestinians in this are like throwing rocks. Israel has the force of the United States and Britain and their own military. They have they literally are testing new technology on the Palestinian people. It is nothing in compare. They go in and they raid these people. They harm I can't even talk. I have
I guess for you, I mean, for
I have
me,
Telegram chats that are so graphic. I will never forget them. And they are holding these children and laughing at them. They're mocking them. I mean, look at my page. The Israeli soldiers are going in and saying they're not people. They're all H group, even the children. They say that they're dogs and then they'll eat their children for breakfast. They have this intrinsic belief about the Palestinian people that they are subhuman. They teach similar things like 1950s America did about black individuals, that they're less than, that they're not as intelligent.
I don't think you should be defending October 7th. That's pretty disgusting.
I think you should stop defending the genocide of Israel.
You didn't listen to a thing I just said.
No,
I
but
did.
you're just justifying October 7th. It's look at the footage. They're clearly T group, and that's why they have to be destroyed.
Then call Israel a T group.
Well, they're not. They're a nation.
They're a terrorist group. Israel is a
That's
terrorist
just-
group. You
that's-
stupid son of a bitch. You are no better. You are no better than everyone who defended the Nazis in World War II when they were genociding the Jewish people. Now, just because it's a Jewish people who are performing the genocide, suddenly you're all for it. Guess what? Genocide is bad no matter who's doing it.
Exactly.
Do you even I didn't. Do you know what the Intifada is?
That's disgusting. Yeah, I don't.
I didn't. What's the Intifada?
They had two intifadas. It's like a rising up.
A rising. Why did they have to rise up?
Because they want to free Palestine from the river to the sea.
They wanted to get out of an open air prison. They couldn't fucking leave in Gaza.
No, they look at what they did on October 7th. Like you can't
look at what they did prior to during the Intifada. They shot at people in wheelchairs.
Palestinian detainees from the Gaza Strip who were recently released from Israeli prisons and detention camps. These accounts reveal an organized and systematic practice of sexual torture, including rape, forced stripping, forced filming, sexual assault using objects and dogs, in addition to deliberate psychological humiliation aimed at crushing human dignity and erasing individual identity entirely. That's what Israel has been doing. What do you think about that?
But I don't think. I mean, if that's true, that's not right. But you still can't defend age group. That's disgusting.
The point that we have brought up is that both of them are disgusting. You're deciding to ignore the heinous acts of one group.
No, but that's why there's a war.
No, but you support.
It is not a war. Detest you support Israel. Detest Israel.
No, Israel has to defend themselves.
How are they defending themselves, Aiden?
Fuck off.
You're disgusting. You POSFF in the chats. I don't know why we let that go on for so long.
Yeah, can we
and
get
this was for you, Dalton, if you wanted to read.
And free Palestines in that chat.
Yeah.
Let's get some free Palestines.
What does this say real quick? Genetic evidence shared ancestry. Several modern genetic studies have revealed substantial overlap between the Jewish and Palestinian gene pools. Hammer et al. 2000 found that Jewish and Palestinian males share a higher percentage of Y chromosome haplotypes, indicating a common paternal lineage dating back to ancient times. Yeah, because guess what, people? The ancient Israelites were just another group of Canaanites. A 2020 study published in Cell concluded that over 80% of modern Palestinian ancestry is derived from Bronze Age Levantine populations, particularly the Canaanites, while Jewish groups Ashkenazi, Sephardi, Mizrahi also cluster genetically with other Levantine groups such as Samaritans, Syrians, and Druze. This is what I have been saying for months and months on end. For anyone who wants like further evidence, I mean, take a look at this right here. These right here, what you're seeing on screen, this is the Phoenician alphabet, the language of the ancient Philistines. And if you compare that, look at that. This is the Hebrew alphabet now. The same exact fucking alphabet, the same words, same gods. They both worship the high god El, the Canaanites and the Jewish people. The Israelites were just another group of Canaanites. There was no Moses. There was no Abraham. That's all just one big fat fucking myth on top of another. Anyways. Oh God, this tooth is really killing me now. I might not take another guess just because I can't keep talking today with the way my tongue is going. I think I'm just going to read some super chats, and then we'll probably end the live for the day. So, at Drew Smith.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll be dropping.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming, Ems.
Thank you,
much appreciated.
Ems, yeah.
How do I guest box? Got it. All right. At Drew Smith with the $5. He doesn't understand the difference between the Sadducees and the Pharisees. This is true for that one guest. I guess that was also Aiden, and it was the guest before. So most Christians don't understand the difference because they'll see movies like The Passion of the Christ, where Caiaphas dresses just like the Pharisees because he's being portrayed as being a Pharisee. So they don't know that there's this extremely strong contention between early Christians and the Sadducees, more so than there was contention between Christians and the Pharisees. In fact, Christians and the Pharisees in the early centuries often were more in agreement than Christians were with the Sadducees. Big at Fern Lovebond with the $2. Your tolerance for children is amazing. Sinfully wet for Ashland. Sinfully wet for Ashland. Hell yeah.
Oh boy.
That's going to get started now on this channel. At Griwez with the $5. Christians disagreeing with the Jews about the sect of Judaism will never not be funny. Yeah. If you're a Christian and you don't know anything about early first century Judaism, get educated on it. For real. It's embarrassing. At Drew Smith again with the $5. Please add a 5th question for all the future guests. Do you understand the difference between Sadducees and Pharisees? I'm not going to add that 5th question, but we'll see if it comes up in conversation in the future again, because they don't ever seem to know the difference between the two groups. At Game Guy with the $2, big W for M's GPT. We do love Ems. Ems is fantastic. He's the best voice on TikTok, 100%. Ashland, you disappeared. And at William Kenny, William Kenny with the $10. Thank you so much, Dalton and Ashland. I hope that is correct. It is. Ashland, that's her name. For continuing to try to educate those who are so certain in their ignorance. The Dunning-Kruger effect demonstrated over and over. This is true. I've never spoken to anyone more confident in their incorrectness than Christians on TikTok. At Narrative Dude with the $19.99. Excellent live stream today. My compliments to you both. My compliments. Why did I grab my hair? My compliments to you too. At Narrative Dude. And that looks like that is the end of the super chats. Everyone, thank you so much for all the likes and all the shares and for all of the super chats. Just so you know, it's not yet set in the works, but me and Justin are working on getting me on The Line, Jimmy Snow's The Line show. So if you like to watch The Line, keep an eye out for a Bible Guy episode coming out within the next month or two. And if you haven't already, make sure you're following Ems and Ashland, and you're following Dalton, the Bible Guys. What are you talking about? I'm not.
Hold on. Is Black Atheist Rants up? He's a newer creator. I think that's who that is.
Are they live right now?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I was gonna say.
All right, then.
But my other phone's dead, so I think that's. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out where.
Here, let me just type in your name and see if it's live right now.
Are you friends with them?
I've seen their name before, but I don't know if I'm following them. If I'm not, I'm going to right now, so I can be an example to everyone else. Black. Oh, what the heck's up on my phone? It's being slow. Okay, Black.
I think it's Black Atheist Rants or
Rants.
I forgot his name. Something like that.
User. Okay, yeah. They doesn't look like they are live right now. No, they're not.
Then it's not the right person. Hold on, I'll be back.
Well, while she's looking for that, guys. Oh my god, when I got my molar removed, there's like a little bone sticking out of my gums. Alan, we're not taking any more guests for the day. I'm quite done talking. But anyways, let's see. Where Ashley? Ashland's there she is.
No, it's not them.
Okay, so who is live?
I hate that you can't see the names of people on your thing when you're seeing people live. Joel is live and Tiny Science is live. Those two are live.
All right, everyone, check out Joel Reads the Bible. Go over there, tell him that the Bible Guy sent you. And with that, I've been the Bible Guy. Remember, everyone, to keep reading and keep learning, and happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Bye.
And that's the end of the TikTok. I almost forgot that I'm still live on YouTube. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for the super chats. Super appreciated. I have high confidence in the fact that by this time next year, I'll be able to have my own apartment with better internet. And in the comment section after the live's over, let me know whether or not it was still lagging or not. Me and Justin tried to fix that today. Well, I didn't stick around here. I'll stick around for just a second in the comment section. Let me know right now. Was the live super laggy today or not? Let's see. Still catching up on the live chat. It could be exposed bone or, oh, I didn't see this. And there's an extra super chat. So I guess you guys are going to get to see that. At RM12500 with the $5. I'll pull it up on the screen real quick. It could be exposed bone or the little knot thing they put to clog the socket. Don't mess with it. Okay, I won't mess with it. I promise. It hurts a lot. All right. No lag for me. No lag. Hell yeah. Maybe we fixed it. That's fantastic. I love to hear that. I'll let Justin know that the problem may have been fixed. But anyways, I'll see you guys all tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.